Obviously, we have our differences, and obviously I feel a certain way, but I don't want to fight with you. Not right now.
Whoa, bro. Looking good, man. You working out? You lost weight? Wow. Great suit, by the way. You working out, man? You're looking good. That's a nice suit. What is that? What is that made of? You know, velour? What, a silk robe?
Did you see the picture of Jack Murphy's beard as your hat?
That's part of the op, bro. That's part of the op, bro.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
Why did I have to lift heavy bags for travelers at an airport, 50,000 pounds per day, loading up all these planes? It's a lot of weight.
Did you work at Midway?
I worked at O'Hare.
Whew.
So I would lift between like 35 and 50,000 pounds.
That's why you're so shredded. Sure. I didn't want to say anything.
Leftover muscle.
Right. I didn't want to say anything, but it's hard to not notice, you know? Yeah. That's why you're so shredded.
I'm a man.
That's why you're so shredded.
All right. Hey, I had my mic muted. Boomer that sucker up right from go. That's the way to do it, right? Hey there. How's it going? Hey, Stacy D. I saw those 5 gifted memberships, by the way. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Right off the go. Oh, man. So it was really interesting to see the day start out. Yesterday, Tim decided to compare us all to the Young Turks and just all kinds of garbage. Today, after getting a hell of a lot of blowback, he was like, "Well, I'm sorry." So Wallace again, still going with the same shit on Twitter, still going same middle finger. Why does that matter in any way? Well, 6 creators were hit today. 6 got nailed. Let me show you this. This just came in. All right. You know, those privacy complaints that came in. I told you it would be a coin flip on who gets hit, who doesn't, especially people that don't have like MCNs or anyone to go to bat for them that will probably get hit. Well, yeah, 6 people got it, at least, minimum. Pulling that up real quick. All right, let's see right here. So check this out. Yeah, fair and balanced. Now, this is about the documentary that she was doing. Apparently, YouTube is going to hit that over and over. Hey, Parody Bear, thanks for the 5. Hi, I'm new here. Mandela Effect put me here. And Eliza, Timful, Bald Man Fake. Well, props to them. Thank you for that. Thank you for you being here too. That's funny. But very balanced. So YouTube just removed my video. Get ready, folks. You're next. You can see privacy complaint upheld. There's one. But there's more. Chrissy Mayer. Hey, I had 4 of them come in today. 4 she had hit for. If you're wondering about a privacy complaint too, there is no legal justification for these in any way, shape, or form. They are not backed by any kind of law, no litigation. This is just you getting hit and you eating it. And well, that's your bad, right? It's totally your bad if you get hit and you eat it for this stuff. I mean, that. So she got hit for 4 of them. So you can tell 4 separate videos removed over fake BS input. Like this, Tim Pool keeps asking, why is this newsworthy? Okay, well, he decided to put his quote unquote apology into a story about Project Veritas and people being silenced. So those people matter. If you're big enough, you matter. But all of us can eat shit on the bottom. Yeah, no thanks, man. No thanks. That's not what I want. There's also this idea that we're all on the same team. I'm not on anybody's fucking team. You know, I'm talking about a subject, and this subject is a problem. And there, when we're all hit, I'm not going to be told to be quiet about something or people they don't hit a certain level. When I'm talking about this subject, and you see 24 privacy complaints come in for 24 different channels, at least minimum, that I saw. And I'm sure I didn't get to see everybody. And this stuff happens. This is a real problem. This is on top of all of the hits on Twitter. They're still coming in. People are still getting hit on there. But none of it matters. It's not newsworthy. What's up? All right, thanks for the 5. Shane said an interview with Eliza 2+ weeks before the drama. Cassandra tried to take credit for the scoop. Did Tim hire a PR firm to boost the story? Well, here's my thoughts on that. I personally think there was a PR team in the beginning. I think there very well was, because, you know, it wasn't just her covering, say, Andrew Tate, but the way that she just exploded onto stuff. Again, it sounds like she got Elon Musk's attention, which helps, of course. But the question isn't, do you get the attention? It's, can you maintain it? And the way you maintain it is where you pay for somebody to help you hold on to it. Nina Infinity posted about Brittany Venti. So Brittany Venti, the first person that was struck, she got hit again. So my Twitter got locked. The censorship continues. That's what the video is talking about. So it is explaining why she got hit. They took it down. So they're trying to scrub the internet of anything that makes Eliza Bleu look bad. They went after Brittany Venti, got hit again, and the people, again, Project Veritas matters, but this subject doesn't. It's like, yeah, no. Either it matters or it doesn't. That's just the way it works, you know? Judy, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tugs, by the way. What's up, Sin Mom? Thanks for the 10. Given the information the quartering gave about Tim being mad that he was starting his own website. I think Tim just views everyone as competition. He doesn't want anyone growing. Well, you know what? I eat shit from the mainstream. Like he talks about in his video, he complains about Taylor Lorenz and stuff like that. I eat a lot of crap from those places. Like, you know, and I didn't see anybody riding to my help, you know, because I wasn't big enough. I don't matter, you know, and that's fine. They don't have to ride to my aid. I can fucking take care of myself. You know, I do. I can throw my own punches, but it's really telling when some of us get hit or censored. Again, we don't matter. What makes you matter? What makes you newsworthy? That's the word I keep hearing thrown around. Newsworthy. Why isn't this newsworthy? Well, it's not newsworthy because, of course, it doesn't get enough fucking attention, or it's not big enough. It's ridiculous. And he's already talking about it. See, he's already dropped the facade of I'm not talking about it anymore. He defended Eliza Bleu. He defended her just straight up. He was in that video. There's one part that I didn't put into that video. I cut certain portions, but there was a song in the beginning, and they were like, "Well, about Eliza Bleu," and he was like, "Yeah, I like her. I like her." So he gives us. It's somebody that he likes. It's somebody he feels like defending. And hey, that's his prerogative. But free speech is free speech. He doesn't have to like what I say, but I should have the right to say what I fucking say. Ian, thanks for the 2. No statement there. Thank you, though. Devin, thanks for the 2. Ian Cross made a video calling out the censorship. I saw that. The one thing I would disagree, first of all, props to him for making that straight up. The one thing I would disagree with is he used a word I'm not trying to police a word. Let me explain what I'm saying here. He tried to make an excuse or try to rationalize. I think that's the best way to say it. He tried to rationalize why Eliza Bleu went after Brittany Vende. He said, well, she put together 3 posts and got hit. They were in a chain, first of all. They weren't 3 random just out there posts. And Brittany Vente got hit for asking questions. Now, he said, well, maybe that's agitation. Well, first of all, it's not agitation. It's asking questions. But even if it is, how does that not compromise the ideals of free speech? You getting annoyed because you're asked questions about the advocacy that you're supposedly pushing? Like I said, I appreciate him making that, but agitation doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the question annoys you. You could ignore it. Brittany Vente, her questions they might have got a few hundred likes on it, maybe that, if that, but it would have ultimately just dried up and gone away, and nobody would have been the wiser. Nobody would have given a crap. But this went a different way. You know what I mean? But yeah, I appreciate him at least. You know, he went against the platform he's on, not talking about. So I do appreciate that for sure. Here's Noctis Draven. Got hit too, taken down 1. Major Eliza Bleu update. Everything we know so far, it gets worse. There's yet another one. Parody Bear, thanks for 5. Elon Musk is a Starlink, DARPA, Blackjack, Neuralink is DARPA, SpaceX is fake space. Be careful, man. We've already rolled with space. We've already rolled with him. In fact, I had a little censorship thing that came up, and the timing was just impeccable. So I put out a video. You remember when he went on Saturday Night Live? I put out a video the day before they went out, the day before it was being pushed hard by YouTube, by the platform itself. Well, I had a strike hit on that video. It was a false strike. It put me down, and I didn't get it cleared until I think it was Sunday or Monday. I couldn't get it cleared, but it had just enough time not to talk about that, not to talk about Saturday Night Live and put his name out there as a negative. I was like, that's really interesting. You know, things that make you go, Wendy Blake, thanks for the 5. Just wanted to say thank you for staying true to the cause. I'm sick of the wet noodles. I'm glad I found your channel. Good times. Indeed. You know, and some people are like, well, I'm tired of the subject. That's the problem. That's why we never get anything done. That's why nothing changes. Because this has been effectively, it's not like we've had a gap in anything. It's just been attack. And we have a major channel that has been doing attacks on people, not that stayed out of the fray. I mean, they made sure that they had something to say on it. Just what they had to say was F my members, F anybody that talks about this. Oh, the creators, they're just like the Young Turks. Again, I don't cover fucking, if you have a problem, it's also this idea that Tim Pool is above drama. And it's like, fuck that noise. You aren't anyway. You can label this whatever you want, but you're not above the fray. You're not above drama. And I don't really consider this many people getting hit to be drama. Here's another one. Radix. Now removed a video of mine that had over 7K hits. So you can see they got hit. And then here's a really interesting thing that's going on with Bluey and Non. I think this is messed up. Let me blow that up. Give me 1 minute, okay? I got to lock the screen on it. Just 1 second. This shows you the problems that are still going on with Twitter. There are more people, I'm sure, that have been hit, by the way. I'm trying to keep up with it. I can't find everyone, though. I mean, I search. I just can't. There's so much of it that's happening. And that's crazy. Typically, I'm asking people to help, like tag it in. But you can see, like, okay, here, why don't you go in? Oh, look, you're locked. All right, well, I'm going to delete this, right? Look, so they hit delete. Oh, well, there's something wrong. You can't do that. And this keeps happening again and again. This has been happening for days. Certain people cannot remove their statements about this issue. They can't. So they are essentially, when people are like, well, they're not really banned. Yeah, they are. They're banned. They can't get back in. They're fucking banned. They're banned without a ban. It's amazing. Catherine, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships, by the way. Appreciate that for sure. Thank you. I love watching them fall in too. So thank you for that. Bob asked, thanks for the 2. Did everyone get reinstated or is Jeremy trolling? No, everybody has not been reinstated. There have been, it depends on what you got hit for. All right. See, Jeremy is correct in like this stuff right here, for example. I would call this a permanent ban. This is a ban without a ban anyway, but just for the sake of calling perma-bans. All right. So I call everything a ban. It is a ban. That's why we use the qualifier temporary or permanent. Some people, they get hung up on the semantics, but we add those qualifiers before it. They're still bans, temporary, permanent. Perma-bans, though, were issued to multiple channels. I mean, again, we saw Defango. He ate one. We had people eat them because they made jokes about her hair. They made jokes about, I got stuck in traffic at Wendy's. I think I got traffic too. They made jokes like that. They got banned. Again, people are being hit for all types of reasons. And this stuff, it just continues. People are still getting knocked out. It's just the story, since a story has gone on more than 12 seconds, that story again... some people are like, well, I'm going to move on to something new. And that's your prerogative. The problem is, though, that, again, we don't change anything by not keeping something moving. And and then, again, there's the Tim Pool shit, which is just, it's insane to me. Now, I was saying earlier today that I knew today when I was watching Tim Pool, I was like, he's gonna start I'm just trolling. You could tell, like, this will be part of the apology tour. This morning, he started out with, like, the truth is, it's all planned out. All of this stuff here, Tim Pool, TimCast in the quartering, Crowder, Daily Wire, all of that. You don't think it's a coincidence, do you? I was like, dude, he's going to go with, he's going to get a lot of flack for this dumb shit, and he's going to go with trolling. I said that on Twitter post as well. I was like, that's the one grift he has down. He always does this. Always. Anytime he gets called out on something really stupid, he does this. He does it. So lo and behold, oh my God, people think this is real. Oh, it's just a shit post. Fucking crap, man. Every time. It's like clockwork, man. You can set a clock to it because it always happens this way. I love it. I freaking love it. I love the fact that, he went on all day, I'm going to joke about it. You can see this is when the tide starts to change because he's noticing something. He's noticing the blowback that he's getting. See, he did a video on this where he went after everybody. I'm going to play some of it today. It's a long video, but I still think I'm going to play. Now, he issued his quote-unquote apology. I'll put that on there too. But the real telling thing isn't the video. The telling thing are the comments, because the crowd is not with him. I mean, nobody is with him in this. He has some diehards, I'm sure, but by and large, he is eaten alive for this stance of screw everybody, they're against me. And I mean, it eats him alive. What's up, Robert? Thanks for the 5. Why is TimCast reporter allowed to ask questions, but not Brittany Venti or anyone else? The reporter did the same thing, but Tim hits the YouTubers. It's not just that, dude. So Shane Cashman, he made it very clear. Not only did he make that statement at the end of it, calling you anybody who asks questions, of course, he tried to walk a really fine line on this because they're afraid to go after their audience. They know they're losing money. They're losing money attacking their own audience, but they made it clear that they're okay with attacking their audience. But when he called he said, quote, "We encountered a gang of leeches here that suck at the skin of the machine they can't comprehend the full scope of because they're so lost in their own narcissism, carrying torches and pitchforks, masquerading through the internet are perpetual trauma machine." So, of course, his article, I really thought about this. I was so irritated by that article at the end of it that I didn't tie in the fact that the title of the article, "The Perpetual Trauma Machine," was a hit piece about you and I. He said, you've tripped over your lynch mob brain as you perform pseudo intellectual pole dances on webcams. I mean, shit. They didn't. He refused to interview anyone while doing this. So yeah, 2012. Thanks for missing my super chats, Doug. I hit them here and there. If they roll through, I catch them. I'm trying. I'll catch them at the end for sure if I miss them though. Una, thanks for the 5. Nate got locked out of his Twitter today earlier. Don't know if it's connected, but I don't believe in coincidences. Yeah, Nate the lawyer actually got hit today too. I believe that's a separate incident. So you have this other thing that's going on. I think this is equally important too. I want to bring this up, and I've got to cover it in a live stream. I've got to. So you had to launch Chris Boozy, a guy who has been a bully for hire company. Nate the lawyer and some other people exposed they're trying to run an alternate Twitter, a Twitter that it looks like they bought for $89 that had security issues and more, and compromised the information of over 25,000 users. Today, Spoutable, that's what that site is, Spoutable of all stupid names. Yeah, it launched today, and Nate the lawyer got locked out of Twitter today when he could talk about it. Now, I don't believe in coincidences like that. So I believe those two things are tied together for sure. Parody Bear, thanks for the 5. When Twitter banned me over beer bug misinformation, Twitter asked me if I wanted to commit suicide. What? Oh, they put it in there in the thing. So you were like, they're so strange about this stuff. Like you can tell, like there's something it's saying. But listen to some of these. I mean, no, Tim, we want justice. We want the people being exposed to be called out for what they are and what they deserve. Tim, we have to call out AOC for her lies. Also, Tim ignores the heinous lies by someone else who claims to have been trafficked. Tim, I don't care, makes a 48-minute video. Yeah, your true colors are showing. Again, these are the top comments. I mean, you see how many people are agreeing with this. Again, yeah, that'll get you an apology. Now, I'm not going to play the whole thing. He starts out talking about AOC, and let me actually relock this. Let me blow this all the way up. Give me 1 second. I'm going to make sure it screen locks it so we can see it good. He starts out by talking about AOC and talking about tribalism. This is supposed to be about tribalism, right? And then his stance is essentially, I don't want to talk about this, so I'm going to make a 48-minute video talking about it. And that's been the problem, man. Then shut the fuck up and go away. The problem is that people were asking, why are you doing it? Why are you endorsing this stuff? And, they, like I said, they had a writer embedded. They did a hit piece on all of us. He went out, he came after people, not once, not twice, not 3 times. I mean, multiple times. You count in Twitter, holy crap, he went after people again and again. But he's acting like he's never addressed this subject. It's ridiculous. He talks so much shit in members only. Like he pretends this is what he should apologize for. What he should apologize for is going after his own audience. That's fucked up. Like I'm talking about, he was like, members, if you care about Jack Murphy, leave. If you care about Eliza Bleu, leave. And then he railed on and on. He faked fucking threats. He said, the quartering, the reason he got blocked, that was because he threatened him. That was not a threat. You could tell. I mean, it's just thin-skinned bullshit. And it cost him. And of course, you get an apology afterwards. Of course, after. I'm not good at people spitting on me again and again, and then being like, "Hey, we're all on the same team." I'm not on your fucking team, dude. I've never been on your team. You've never helped me with anything when I've ate shit for it. I've never asked you for it. You wouldn't anyway, I figure. So fuck it, right? I'll tell you what, though. You know who will? The quartering. At least, us peons down here when it's raining, because people are trying to spit on us. Yeah, at least the quartering actually stands its ground. US J for Burley. Thanks for 10 thoughts on this actually really becoming illegal. You're talking about the class action. It just rolled up on me. Legal action case. What about class action? I'd like to get Law to Enrique his thoughts. They're harming businesses. It depends. You can prove loss. Okay, it's like this. People think that we can't tell how much traffic comes from, say, on Twitter, for example, right? But we can. We can actually look at lost revenue. We can compare it week to week. I can tell you how much money I'd lose a week if I were banned, for example, based on specific numbers. I can also tell you how much of my traffic comes from, say, a site like Twitter if they hit me. Yellow Flash, for example, when he was setting out temporary bans, he was losing 24% of the traffic to his videos. That's what the amount of offset traffic that actually works out for him. So 24% of offsite traffic. That's quite a bit, which, I mean, again, I'm not talking, I don't know his specific money, but he would. There would be a formula to figure all that up. We could easily figure it up. Now, the logistics of getting everyone together, I've not been hit yet. I had a privacy complaint too. I've not been hit yet. I figure I want to see if Yellow Flash gets hit. See, we have one thing that some creators don't. There are some fake scammy, they're multi-channel networks. They're fake and scammy sometimes, and sometimes they're really good. What they do essentially, when you get a privacy complaint, some entry-level person at YouTube gets to decide whether or not, somebody in their quote unquote legal, they're still, what's the qualification for that? Not much. So they get to decide whether or not you get hit. And oftentimes they will default on coin flip, as it were. There's no rhyme or reason. Well, if you have some place that can advocate for you on your behalf beforehand, oftentimes you can survive those. I've been able to survive them since then. The one that we have, again, it costs, It sucks that you need something like that, but it's the only way I survived covering the last thing. I have to have it. They overturned 9 incident. God, I don't even know how many strikes were attached to all of that. But privacy complaints too. I've been hit with one privacy complaint, and a lot of people don't have that resource because it costs money. Essentially, you're giving away 10% of what your channel makes just so you can sleep. I can't sleep. YouTube never sends me a positive message. I've never gotten a fucking positive message. I get a stat breakdown. Maybe that's a positive message if you want to say that, but I never get a positive. Anytime I get a YouTube message, I cringe. I think, oh my God, what'd I get hit for today? Because most of the time that's what it is. And when you go in and you try to get that removed, you get entry level people and they just circle the wagons. With an MCN, they can coordinate, they can talk to somebody and sometimes get a reasonable response. Again, most of us are not breaking any rules whatsoever. It's just that people are misusing a system and then YouTube doubles or triples down on it. Most of these companies do. Or you have some gatekeeper that's keeping things out in a Twitter space. I don't know how to tell you how to deal with the Twitter space stuff. But yeah, with YouTube, you have to have somebody to be able to sound off. I mean, they work to the point, like some people would say, oh, well, they don't work. Yeah, it worked to the point that I had a video that was deleted get hit once. So I had a video deleted. A couple days later, bam, strike comes in on it. And it took God, it took a long time to get that thing removed because they even went on Twitter and told me they would not reverse, that it was going to stand. And then they ended up getting it reversed. They also got Raging Golden Eagle. His channel got banned totally. They false flagging, pulled his entire channel down. So they got that reversed. Again, sometimes now there are some of them out there that are very untrustworthy, but unfortunately, these tools you have to have. But anyway, getting to this. So I'm going to play from a certain portion. It's going to pick up some discussion and he's going to start rolling through stuff after a minute. I find this part interesting because he starts to describe how he perceives his channel membership or his channel viewership. It's fascinating because it's a mask drop, as it were, for a minute.
The video posted here is titled AOC Loses Her Mind Over Libs of TikTok. We've since confirmed there's no evidence she had a mind in the first place. We regret the error. And I think about that and I'm like, yeah, I just don't know if I care about this stuff enough anymore, to be completely honest. And I don't think I'm cut out to be whatever it is that people expect or want in this space. That is to say, in order to rise to prominence in this space, you absolutely must pander to a tribal force. You must be like AOC.
You must pander. Do you? I have friends. Do you seriously, like a person like myself or a Yellow Flash? Do you feel like we're tribal forces? I get together with my friends and I'll go to war with my friends, but nobody gets to tell me what the fuck to do. Nobody. If they did, I wouldn't have covered the last trial as long as I did. Nobody could see the long-term benefit of the people that I know, but nobody would tell me what to do with it. And even if they did, I tell them, fuck you. I do what I want. This is my thing. Who gets to decide here? Me and the people who show up. I mean, if you folks show up for it, awesome. But you also have to enjoy it. Like he's telling you, I don't even like this anymore. Well, that's a problem. That's a big problem. But this rise to prominence, fuck it. You got the wrong goals, man. You got the wrong goals. Rise to prominence. No, it's about, why you rise to quote unquote prominence? Because people feel like you're fighting the good fight. That's the reality of it. When people feel that you're not doing that, let me turn this captions on. I apologize. I try to do that. I know I have some people that are here that have issues with sight or whatever. So I try to make sure that you are hearing or sight. I try, like I said, I try to make it each way work out. Sinmon, thanks for 2. Pander, we just want the truth. And why answered. Again, yeah. I mean, why? It's a big question. Why bothers me? Why makes me lose sleep? I'm an obsessive compulsive person. You can tell because I cover the same shit. I keep things in folders. Folder everything. It's got to be neat. It's got to be compiled. I need to understand. I need to understand why something happens. And that I thought was the mission of quote unquote investigative journalism. I thought that, again, I'm not saying I'm a journalist. I don't want to be a journalist. I got a day job. I just do this because I like to do it. It's fun. If I ever lose a day job, maybe I still wouldn't call myself an investigative journalist. But anyway.
Express righteous indignation at the turn of on a dime the moment your audience demands it. Because you have different elements of your audience for any one of these organizations. You have your diehards. They'll support you no matter what you do. You have your more fickle fans. They know you and they overlap with other audiences, but you better do as they say or else. Then you have normies who might watch. For most of you who are listening to this podcast or are watching and are not familiar with some of the names I've mentioned, you probably fall into the category of like a passive fan. And I mean that with no disrespect. Somebody who likes listening to the things I have to say, watches the show, but you don't know a whole lot about the deeper workings. You appreciate that we talk about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, war, conflict, what's happening in this country, and you want to learn more about the world. That's the overwhelming majority of the people who follow me. Then there is a faction of diehard fans, people who watch every single video, who support us directly at TimCast.com and things like that. And they're going to defend us because they really believe in us. And for that, I respect you. And
he respects you because you'll go to war for him. He doesn't respect you if you're complaining in the comments. That's how I took that. I was like, what the fuck, dude? That's stuff you don't say out loud, at least. If you really think that, don't say it out loud. Come on. Simulant, thanks for 5. I like Tim's content and coverage, but I don't think the puff piece, his ego, or the tax on the fans are helping him keep or win more fans. Yeah, this is not my wheelhouse. I don't like politics. Like, I don't enjoy it. I don't see, I grew up in a time when both parties, I've watched both parties censor me. I've watched both of them play the exact same game. Now, they've used different words for it. They use different buzzwords, but they do it. They do the same shit. In fact, they do it so often. I mean, I look at them as the same mechanism. I think they all need to be replaced, but I do like to laugh at them. I do like to spit on them because, well, they're my employees and I can. So, but I can't stand to watch politics. So, and that's nothing against anyone who does that or covers it. It's just not my wheelhouse.
I appreciate it. And then you have the more fickle overlap fans who watch because there's some kind of alignment that would benefit them or their worldview, but they will turn on you unless you do as they say. I mean, there's other, you can quantify fans in other ways or individuals and audiences in other ways. But these are the people right now that are particularly upset with me because they've demanded that I disavow certain individuals. And by not doing so,
certain individuals, baby.
They've created a, I don't know, viral news cycle among people about drama related to me that I quite honestly think is a net negative in terms of moving forward. It exemplifies that these people are very much the exact same thing that AOC is, that I despise and think we need to do away with.
So we're AOC too. Oh man, any politician he hates. Like, again, this is what after this hit him in the wallet, he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But this is the third fucking time he's pulled this shit. Third time. You made it clear what you think, dude. Just stick with it. You'll weather the storm. You're big enough. But at the end of the day, when the next motherfucker swats you or something, fine, dude. I'm too little to care. When I eat shit, you don't care. So that's fine. Actually, if he gets swatted, I still do care. That's fucked up. It is. Like, I can't help that. But it's nice to know that that's a one-way street, no matter what. It's nice to know.
And convince me that so long as the right and the left exhibits these same phenomenons, these same features of cancel culture and lies, then...
So he's being canceled too now. Cancel culture, baby. Right and left. Again, it's political pandering bullshit.
There is no real path forward, or I don't know. Maybe that's just human nature. Humans want tribal conflict and they will get it no matter what. Let me show you some stuff on YouTube and I'll talk about what the YouTube space is and what the culture war is. The first thing I'll say is the New York Times just mentioned they have 9.6 million paying subscribers, and it's quite incredible. The Washington Post and everything they've done. Do you see what these organizations do? The Washington Post hired Taylor Lorenz because they know the game and they want to play it. I don't want to do that, and I'm not interested in doing it. I'll hire people that I believe in who are doing things that I think are...
You played the same game with Shane. You went after all of us and tried to fucking cancel us again. Cashman's fucking quotes. A gang of leeches. Pseudo-intellectual pole dancers. I mean, what the fuck do you think that is? You think you're above it? I mean, are you kidding me? Holy shit, you said worse shit about the people that are in that than fucking... I had Taylor Lorenz try to buzzword and call me every evil thing in the book, try to cancel me twice now. But you know what? So did TimCast. So did fucking TimCast. They didn't have the balls to drop the names of the channel in their thing, but you know who they're talking about. You know exactly who Shane Cashman is talking about. Just have the balls to at least stand up and freaking, at least own it, man. Own the shit. No better. Come on. 4 paws wouldn't tell. Thanks for those 3 there. My hero, you're my hero. Thank you. I mean, we're eating. We're watching. How many YouTubers have to fall? Apparently more. Again, what makes something newsworthy? It has to be AOC or whatever again. I'll remember this. I remember that. Hey, what's Manifest of Destiny? Thanks for 5. I'm a thug. Thank you. Viral Shorts, thanks for 5. If you love, respect, and worship Tenpool, hit the dislike button to show me how you really feel on that video. Well, I think he got the feeling. Again, he issued a somewhat apology. It was because, again, Project Veritas got hit, and it's not good that we argue right now because of stuff that went on. Again, I don't know what that was. Somebody pointed me. I don't keep up with. I'm working my day job. I'm watching this stuff. I watch usually one thing at a time if I find something interesting. That's what I keep up with. Because here's the problem. When people cast a giant net, they're telling you about everything. The way I see it, this is only me, okay? And I have plenty of friends that cast a wide net, and they overall give you an overview. I don't personally think you can change things that way. You can tell people there's a problem and you can point it out, and it cues them in. But people, they get so accustomed to switch topics. You know, when you get 9 topics in a day, bam, 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 you can't change anything. Like, we focus all of our efforts and energy into one thing. That's how you change shit. And activism, true activism, it takes time. It takes a long time for you to even make a simple point. I've learned this. Just to make a tiny point in these spaces, it takes a river of time. I mean, an absolute river of time. And sometimes that doesn't even make it. But when you hit it, when you see, again, there were so many people covering the Depp situation. There's so much news out there. When that thing went up, you saw finally, I'm not trying to take credit in any way. I'm just saying I felt that was a fight that needed to happen. And there were so many people that fought that shit for years. When it came up, it made one statement. False accusations happen. The men, sometimes, can be aggrieved, just like they could be an aggressor. And it tears down a lot of this shit that people, they miss. That's just the way I look at it anyway. DJ Nutsack, what's up? Thanks for 5. What a disingenuous piece of shit. Wanted him to disavow her actions of censorship. I know, how dare him, right? Seal, thanks for the 5. Message redacted. I don't know if that was redacted on purpose, but it got redacted there. B-Week, thanks for the 5. Tim lost me completely when he started trashing us in chat. Unsubscribe for Tim because he isn't who I thought he was. Yeah, you know, I know I'm not telling people to unsubscribe. I'm commenting on him fucking talking shit about it, which he's about to talk shit about us, and especially the quartering. Holy crap, man. And again, Jeremy can be an asshole sometimes, very much so. But you know what? When the tide comes, Jeremy tries to help keep you from getting swept out to sea. That's a thing. That's a big difference. A lot of people are asking, I can be an asshole. Man, you get me on the right mood, you irritate me in some way, I'll go off on you for days, weeks, months. I don't give a fuck. You know? It is what it is. But yeah, at the end of the day, I also don't like this idea. We're on the same team, and yet, what are we? Relief pitchers or something? We're all cheerleaders, I guess. If you sit in the stands, then you're okay. But if you ever say anything, Sin Mine, thanks for the 5. He gets mad about us holding the same standards that he holds the mainstream media to. Indeed, that's true. Stacey D, thanks for dinner. I'm still hung on the intellectual pole dancing. I know. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine this sexy pickle? Like, intellectual pole dancing. I'm dancing in your brain, baby. Hey, still 7, there it is. Thanks for the 5. This shows more and more that Tim is a total narcissist. Yeah, I mean, the situation became about Tim, and he never let it up. One more. Joseph, thanks for 5. He does not understand how KK Group did to the Star Wars. Oh, yeah, the Kennedy Group did to Star Wars fans, each other, so they can slip their woke crap in. Seeing this group somewhat do the same. Well, you see this. Okay. You can also see the people who talked about Star Wars, they talked about it forever, and people didn't understand that. Well, you know what it did? It had an effect. Disney just posted their first losses. They just posted their first losses where they shit on customers again and again. Disney Plus. Now, Disney Plus doesn't make money. Okay. And this does go to this topic here because, again, the fight has an end game. The end game is fuck you disrespecting us. We own these platforms. We own Twitter. We own YouTube. We own these things because without us, it doesn't exist. And we need to put our fucking feet down and claim it. That's what the people covering Disney, talking about it for years now, talking about everything in that. Right now, they had their first subscriber loss, 2.4 million subscribers. They're going to have to lay off 7,000 people, which I hate that for the employees, but that's not the fault of the customer. That's the fault of the company. You can make an impact. You can very much make an impact, or you can just be a narcissist about the shit.
Good, but I'm not interested in pandering to anybody for any reason. And if that means you will unfollow this channel, you will unsubscribe from my website, then you should have never signed up in the first place. I'm not going to cater to you. I'm not going to pander to you. I'm going to talk about what I think is important. I'm going to focus on issues that I think are important. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry, this channel's not for you.
Now, that statement there, that irritates me because that is gaslighting. And it's gaslighting your own followers here, because the reality is nobody's saying cover something you don't want to cover. You already covered it. You had the person on not once, but twice. People are eating shit over it. It's a free speech issue. You had a writer embedded on it. So you planned on covering, but it was a puff piece that you were going on. Then you talked about covering it on Twitter. Instead, you blamed Jeremy Hambley. Then you've talked about it once. You talked about it behind the scenes. I mean, you had a cope session locked off to members. You had a fucking cope session about it. And then you did a 50-minute video telling us all to fuck ourselves. So it is a subject that you think is if Tim thinks he has skin in the game, it's definitely worth covering. And somebody got under his skin with this because enough people, enough members, enough money actually came up. He was like, oh, maybe I gotta come out. But still, it was you could have easily handled this. The way you handle it is, I see this problem. This is a messed up issue. I denounce the idea of these bannings. This is wrong. This is 100% wrong. I stand with free speech. As far as Blue goes, I don't know everything in this. I'm right now. I'm finding out more about it, or I don't want to cover it from that point. I just want to talk about the censorship part. I mean, again, that's right in your wheelhouse. You talked about it anyway, but that didn't fit into the end game where, again, you have a guy that is embedded to do a fucking puff piece. Hey, Virus, thanks about that guy and that chick aren't educated enough to have ties to Project Veritas. I haven't kept up with what happened with Veritas or anything, by the way. I don't know anything about that yet. When I like to know, I like to at least do a modicum of research, to see what happened on the day. I heard about the replacements and stuff, but I don't know everything in the background of what's going on. So I can't say that. Again, there was a pseudo apology at the beginning of that video, which I'll cover. But as far as the subject is concerned, I don't know enough about it, nor do I want somebody breaking it down for me. I'm going to, like, when I break something down, I try not to just pull up an article and show it to you. I try to give you a linear, this is what I think is happening. Even if I did pull up an article and show it to you, I'm going to explain why I think this is happening or relevant. And you can totally disagree, but at least you can understand that, there's some thought in it. I'm not regurgitating somebody else's position on something that I saw in the news or something.
In the past several years, or I should say in the past year, especially with the swattings that we received, I can tell you outright, there is nothing glorious about being perceived as at the top. I certainly can empathize with Joe Rogan because I can only assume what he goes through.
He's at the top, baby.
Take a look at what happens when you search for my name on YouTube.
Oh, here we
for
go.
one, obviously, you will get my channels, you'll get the videos I put up, and then you'll start getting weird nonsense things. The Majority Report with Sam Cedar 6 days ago, a channel that's absolutely obsessed with me. I don't know why. H. John Benjamin explains Tim Pool's Bob's Burgers drama. What? I don't even know what you're talking about. So I think, this is probably.
So if they're obsessed, though, could they have a point? Could they? Like I also don't. Here's a wonderful thing, and I hope Tim, actually, if he ever hears any of this, I hope he can take this to heart. Don't focus on negative videos. If your audience is overwhelmingly telling you that you're fucking up, stop fucking up. But you're going to have haters, detractors, whatever. You're going to pick them up. Man, they're going to make up shit about you. I don't name search myself because you get some crazy shit. Sometimes I do just so I can laugh at some of the stuff, but not very often. Normally I'll have somebody send me something. I stopped really doing that. The only name searches I wanted to see, like, in news headlines. That's how I found out, like, Lorenz or something would cover. But as far as YouTube video, nah, man. People can think what they want. I don't care if somebody doesn't like my channel and they make videos that say they don't like my. They're allowed to do that, man. They're allowed to make your money. You know. They will lead. That's where two things do show. Like, you can see the fickleness of the internet because all it takes is one negative video sometimes to do harm, but not really. Not really. I mean, when you get to a certain point, yes. And it's funny that it's funny to see yourself at the top, man. I hope to never regurgitate words like this. I've got about 400,000 subscribers. I go back and forth depending because I cover shit a long time. When I come off of it, you'll lose stuff, or you'll lose people for whatever. I mean, that is part of it for sure. But when you step in something like this, again, there is a way to handle it, and the way is not to shit on the people that are your channel. That is the absolute wrong way. What's up, John? Thanks for the tip. Thank you, Tug. Hey, thank you, man. Nimity 2, thanks for the 5. Hey there. Did you see Anna's stream last night? No, I fell asleep last night. I've got to go back and watch. That's the one thing that's hard to keep on with. There's so many good streams. Like Chrissy Mayer, if you haven't watched, and Star Wars Girl does a great job too. I need to go back and watch. I've got to catch up for tomorrow or for tonight. You know, and I'm about a day behind on anything I do, which that's okay. You know. Sweet Potato Night, thanks for the 5. It's a BS apology. Doesn't know what he's sorry for. Wants to use Veritas for unity to sweep EB censorship under the rug and not talk about it. Yeah, you know, it's hard for me to. I don't say this to be a dick about anything with Project Veritas, but it's hard for me to care about Project Veritas getting hit solo. Like, just care about that. When I just watched, again, half a dozen people that I know get hit. I either know them in passing, or some of them are my friends. Again, you know, I've streamed with Chrissy Mayer. I don't know her. Well, I enjoy streaming with her. She's funny, you know, and she's cool. I would consider her working toward an internet friend, but I don't know, you know, again, I don't like using that word very lightly. That Star Wars Girl, though, I consider her a friend in this mess. She was attacked with this stuff. Yellow Flash, again. And so on. All these people, too, would at least stand up with me if I ever ate a strike. And I can't not care about something when. Hey, Bob, thanks, too. Aren't there anti-CG channels all over? Yeah, sure. Yeah, they're I mean, you know, I'm sure if you look around, you can find some anti-me channels as well. I mean, that's fine. If you enjoy it. Sometimes the drama's funny, you know. I get a limited amount of time, so if you did focus on, again, he's trying to play something. When I'm saying here is, you're going to have detractors that are just assholes, and that's fine. But when your whole audience is like, yo, wait a fucking minute. When you start attacking them wholesale, that's when you can see that you've stepped in it. And right there should have been a warning sign, but it kept snowballing, and then we got a half-ass. But anyway,
in reference to something Sam Cedar told me 10 years ago, that they were reducing his voice acting role on Bob's Burgers because he voiced a character, and I said he explained that he was upset about it. Okay, well, 6 days ago they do a video about me. You know,
which has
it's
nothing
fine.
to do
I
with
mean,
what's
I get
going
it.
on right now.
I got millions of subscribers and followers for whatever reason. We have this one. The Young Turks corrects Tim Pool's brain dead and racist take on Tyree Nichols. Racist and brain dead?
That's TYT, though.
It's shock content for tribal reasons. Anna Kasparian and the Young Turks make fake videos about me all the time. Here's another one from Sam Cedar. Tim Pool confused by Crowder's nonstop lies about Daily Wire beef. Well, I can say one thing. At least they made me look thin in this thumbnail. I actually look very thin. But Sam Cedar...
They should have also put, you know, it'd be really funny if you really just wanted to mess with him, you know, because he was talking about being thin. Somebody should do one of those facial tracking things and put hair on him, like give him long flowing hair and just put it in any video, like a detractor channel. That'd be hilarious. Put it in your thumbnails, like you have really long flowing hair coming out of the beanie. Just work it in there. Never say a word. Never correct it. Just do it. Just never point to it. Never say a word. Everybody like, what the fuck does he have that hair for? Oh, I would do it in a heartbeat too. Oh, that'd be so funny. Hannah, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Thanks.
Likes to do something. He likes to use filters over my face to make it look like I'm corpse-like. This is exactly what I'm talking about with the issues of AOC. They put sound filters on my song to make the song sound bad, to trick their audience. The Majority Report is notorious for this. The Young Turks that
is so fucking that is oh my God. You know, I got photographed at Anime Matsuri. Like I said, I got a dad bod. I'm lazy. You know, I don't give a fuck. But I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, that's filter, baby. I mean, they turned my 6-pack. Yeah, you know, they turned it into, let's just say they turned it into the spare tire in your car. No, fuck that, you know? I mean, it is what it is, you know? Whinging about thumbnails. My God. I put big eyes on people. I make them look crazy because it's funny. You know what my thumbnails are? They entertain me. Like when you look at them and you're like, it's because they entertain me. I think they're funny. I like that little Amber Heard head that's like, what? You know, or the yellow one. I think they're funny. And you know that they piss people off. So that works too. You just have fun with that. What's up, 2012? Thanks for vibing. You're my emails. Get a big update on things. The rape kit will be addressed in part 2. Some things that speculate in part 1 come true in part 2. Yeah, I've been catching up all the. You know, there were some interesting ones. The everything from discussions like that to her father, like church. There's some stuff, again, you know, I filter out what's there too, because I'm not saying none of it is not important, but some of it adds understanding for me so I can talk about it, and some of it doesn't make it into things, but still I look at it and try to understand with everything, because everything is a piece of a puzzle. You know what I mean? I appreciate that too. AJ Stone, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. What's up, AJ Stone, by the way? Glad to have you. So here we go.
Takes quotes from me out of context and lies about what I believe.
Look at that recommend. Suggested. Democrats literally scream no and start crying.
In order to generate traffic. Much like Jeremy Hambley and Brittany Venti did about, and some other characters, about what I said about the Eliza Bleu story.
And some other characters. Yeah. It's all of it. So he has the big hate on for Jeremy Hambley. He went after Brittany Venti, who was the first person to get hit with this. She has a legitimate beef, dude. I mean, she does. But he names people. He's like, fuck these people. You know, that's what he's going with. Oh, they're trying to hurt me. They're trying to hurt me. Lost a little man. Thanks for 5. When did it become chauvinistic to be a man and coy? To be a woman? Honestly, why can't we have pride in what we are anymore? You should be able to have pride in anything. You know what? When people tell you that it's an ist or phobic to just be you and be happy to be who you are, fuck them. All of them. You know? Professional Zilch, thanks for 10. So the peeps behind Eliza are censoring people on multiple platforms, and Beanie Boy made it all about himself. Indeed.
Which I'll
he does
get into
this
in a moment.
Now he's
going
to get to it.
Eventually you'll find I have a song out. Look at that. 1.2 million views. Here is someone, actual justice warrior, shout out. apparently defending me, I guess. TYT smears Tim Pool. Here's someone calling me a scumbag. It's fine. Here's someone, Umbrella Guy, claiming Tim Pool defends Eliza Bleu. Here's Chrissy Mayer talking about me and whatever. The Umbrella Guy talking about me losing it. Brittany Vetney talking about me.
I didn't say losing it. I said loses big.
Here's the quartering saying Tim Pool blasts his viewers on TimCast IRL. The quartering issues and what is this? What is it? Issues and
he's gonna really have a cope fit about the quartering today too. Oh my god, the cat thinks of Vibe. He wears a beanie because he has Eliza hair. Oh, you see it though. I mean, you see it again. You know who he's talking about. He's like, yeah, all those fuckers out there. Hey, he notices again. These are his own words. Like me covering stuff. I interject my opinion on it, but I'm giving you his words. And I'm telling you about loss and stuff. That specific video talked about his cope session, his words, where he flips out. It was his stuff publicly, his stuff after hours, what he was saying, how he got his guest to attack people too. He weaponized his fucking guest there. His guest had no idea what was going on, but he had him sing a song and attack people over something that I personally believe. So I did a little bit more looking into his guest, and I believe his guest would have been quite alarmed if he would have understood the situation, if he would have understood it from a censorship perspective and not the way that Tim presented it. Tim presented it, he gave a false narrative. He told him, oh, well, this stuff, it's about somebody that wants clout, but they're doing good deeds, activism. He lied to them. And of course, you know, that's the same. That is the, whatever you want to call it. You want to call it the social justice mob, the woke mob, whatever. That's the game that they play. That is the social game that gets played, because anytime you go out, instead of calling out the liar and what they're doing, it's like, oh, well, you oppose activism. See, it's the same fucking game, the same buzzwords, the same bullshit, but it's spouted from somebody that's supposed to know better. And they not only took that narrative with them, but they again influenced somebody rather big out there to go after people too. And I doubt they would have done that if they understood it. But joke, thanks for the 3 LOL stacks of Tim Poo. Tim Poo. B. Thomas, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Sing Eliza Bleu. Yeah. Eliza Bleu. Eliza Bleu. I love that song. I have to say, I would load it up. You know, Tim Pool, he gets crying. I bet he has some Eliza hair too. Eliza Bleu. Yeah, like
apology. And back to Eliza Bleu.
He compared Tim Pool versus. Did you see the picture of Frost go in there? Look. Like if you look, you could see it flash by.
Blasts his viewers on TimCast IRL. The quartering issues and what is it? Issues and
like you saw Frost go by. And that did. It's actually a very good point, because that killed G4. Attacking your fans is the thing that will kill your channels. That's the way you do it. There should be a lesson to any place out there in it.
Apology, and back to Eliza Bleu. Tim Pool versus his fans. So here's what ends up happening. And here's what I want to address as it pertains to drama and things like that. You know, I see these videos all day, every day from the likes of the Young Turks, where they just lie about me all the time. And there's they make videos about a bunch of people, don't get me wrong. But let me see if I can scroll back to where they did this one video where they claimed I was hoping to sexually harass women, which is like a ridiculous nonsense lie. It's just not true. It's nothing I've ever said. These drama channels.
So we're all drama channels. Again, I'm not saying I'm above drama either. I don't give a fuck. I cover whatever's funny to me. I like a trash fire. I like a good trash fire. So if I see a good trash fire, I'm like, ooh, let me warm myself by a dumpster fire, Tim. But you know what? They're not my words. Like, this isn't me doing this. This is just me commenting on a dumpster fire. Does that mean I started it? No. Does that mean I pumped gasoline on it? Maybe. I don't know. But who gives a shit? That's not my problem. Mofo says he's at the top of the game, too. At the top of the game. He wanted war with us. He wants to fucking roll. But he can't take it, man. I can't fucking take it. You're going to insult me? I'm going to make a video on it. You're going to spit my way? I'm not just going to be like, thank you for it. I got an umbrella. No, man. You know why I'm an umbrella guy? Because I'm going to smack you around with it. I swear, dude. Cindy Miles, thanks for 2. There's a reason his last name rhymes with tool or fool. It's true. Texas Rap, thanks for the 10. Tug, congratulations, brother. You are a character defined by Tim Beanie Pool. Appreciate your takes on these times. I enjoy it. Again, it is fun. And this would have died a day ago. This actually, the entire situation, if it would have just been a question from Brittany Vinny, she would have covered it. I would never have covered it because I wouldn't have looked into it. I would never gone down the rabbit hole. Never would have. The strikes made me look. The multiple strikes, they kept me looking. Every time I've started to look away from this, something else comes in. There's new players. Today, we not only had this yesterday, but today we have 6 creators already. Half a dozen creators that are hit with privacy strikes. And I don't know. Here's the thing. Sometimes when those come in, other things will fall too. Like I said, the only time I've ever had a privacy strike hit me, because my NCN has been here for everything else, but the only time that it ever hit me, they didn't just take my privacy strike. They just randomly, right there in the same move, they hit 2 live streams. And you could tell that was on purpose. Because I was covering the shit that was happening with Herd in Australia. I was actually breaking it because the mainstream didn't cover it for months. But let's just say I had a very good source that was telling me about what happened there. Now, you had a political change at the top. They haven't been willing to follow up even with stuff. I think if the same people would have stayed in power, they would have. But when that was coming up, YouTube just decided, I mean, it's down to workers. Workers are making these. Somebody making maybe barely above minimum wage. Nothing wrong with making money. Money's money. That's not what I mean. But they're not qualified to make. They're not making legal decisions here. They're just deciding on the flip of a coin. And many of these people will have a personal vendetta. They will back these people for some reason. And that, again, should bother the Beanie. Because that's supposed to be in his wheelhouse. But you're not big enough. I'm not Project Veritas. You're not Project Veritas. So why the fuck do we matter? Sage, thanks for the 5. Tim would not be talking about it. This bit, if it didn't hurt a little. Oh, you can tell he's really upset about it. I mean, he's going to go. He's going to have a whole cope session about the quartering here. He figured his audience would go along with this because he doesn't think that there's a crossover, not a real crossover. He thinks that he has this hardcore people, and then there's the normies that go with it. And yes, if you get the normies involved, the people who headline readers or whatever, if you get them involved, and you do, he is a tribalist, by the way. He is very much a tribalist. He complains about tribalism, but he is. He comes in, he knows there's nothing wrong with that necessarily for what he's doing. He's a talking head. I don't personally respect talking heads. I don't respect them as much as I don't respect any Fox or CNN analyst, but I respect the game and the grift. You make your money, you do your thing. Hey, man, I don't hate anybody for doing it. I hate it divides us and it makes us eat each other. But I don't really care. Typically, I wouldn't give a shit. Those things for the 5. Beta tool can't take the fire. Can't get out of the kitchen because he's the source of the fire. Just keep on feeding the fire. He's trying to get away with it now. Again, he's like, I'm just trolling, dude. It's just a joke, bro.
Take things out of. Here we go. Creepy Tim Pool. I miss being able to sexually harass women at work. Literally never.
Look, he's played it again. Look, he's been playing it. You notice that? He's like, oh yeah, let me bring that up. Like, what's funny about it? What's more telling about the shit there is it got to him. That's actually where I clipped the him talking to the pickle. Like it is from that. It's from that video. Because it has him. I understand what he was saying too. And they did hit him with a fake piece. They tried to make it sound like he's down with sexual harassment. And he was essentially saying, if you went up to a dude and you said, this stuff, if you said, hey, nice outfit, love your haircut, whatever the fuck, that's okay. But if you said that to a female, you may get written up. And that is the society we live in. And unfortunately, that is a fucked up dynamic. And yeah, but unfortunately, he tries to loop that into what other people are saying about what he's doing right here. And that's fucked up. Like, again, this isn't taking his words out of context. This is playing his words. Again, I give statement. You can watch it in total. I, in fact, would encourage you to, if you want to, do it. But I'm just giving my thoughts on it while we go through.
It was quite the opposite. Said in my video that you have to treat men and women differently because they're different. Then, of course, we have everyone's favorite Jeremy Hambly. Jeremy Hambly makes endless videos about me. I get it. They get traffic. You take a look at his Joe Rogan video. Jeremy Hambly makes...
Like he's like, well, you take a look at this and look how much I do on it. Actually, the quartering does something that... It works for him because he's so big and he puts out so much content and he can hit major headlines, like he can do name searches and stuff. But he also, there's another element that works into his videos that Tim Pool is being very disingenuous about traffic with. The traffic isn't just based on name searches and recognition. You only get 3 reminders on a day. Your audience only gets told about 3 things in a day. So if I put out 7 videos, at best, you're going to hear about 3 of them. And that means, if one of these videos is outside of that, that's there's so many elements that work into trafficking. It's not just, oh my God, trafficking. Oh no. Oh, his audience is being trafficked. Oh no. Oh my bad. Rosemary, thanks for the 10 quartering. Posted I'm sorry video to Tim Pool late this afternoon because supposedly Tim apologized to the quartering. Well, I saw the apology that he put up here, and that's great. Here's the thing though. He shit on him overnight. He said he threatened him. Like, if he's apologizing for putting on like the Jack Murphy beanie, and that was funny. You got to admit the Jack Murphy beard beanie is fucking funny. That is really funny. Like if you wanted to make fun of me, I have people put giant, how Tug's tits went around. People took my face and was like, here's you a giant rack. I was like, that's funny. If people put like an umbrella face, but it was a Jack Murphy beard face, I'd laugh at it because it'd be funny. Who cares? And that's how you diffuse these situations. You'd be like, hey. And, Tim Pool told us too that Jack Murphy doesn't matter. Like none of this, he was unfairly talked about. So why does the Jack Murphy beard matter? Because he knows that these are problems. He knows his audience, but he got to ignore it. See, he got to ignore the Jack Murphy shit. He got to ignore, even though he had him on 17 times by him over months, his own statement, 17 times over X amount of months. So his audience was told, give money, whatever, support this dude that many times. And he flagrantly ignored that. This is not only the Eliza Bleu thing. See, Jack Murphy, for all the embarrassment and shit that came with, it didn't eat creators. I did think it was fascinating that it was aimed at some of the people that were associated with his show. Like, again, if you're on I don't have a co-host. If I did have a co-host, they'd have to be friends of mine. The only show I go on, like all with regularity, I feel that like anytime when Flashcast started, I've been there since go, we're friends. So I go on there, we talk about what, like if there's going to be changes, if I have a problem, like if I think there's a wrong direction or something, I think something's fucked up, we have a conversation behind the scenes. And if somebody were to go after like Flash and try to shit all over them, I'd have a lot to say. Because you're going after my friends. He's like, mum's the word. And people were like, what the fuck? The difference here is, though, this isn't that kind of thing. This is a censorship topic. It's eating creators. People that, again, supposedly friends of his and more. And again, not only did he fucking not ignore it, but they came after us. Again, I don't give a fuck what he says. I read the Cashman article. People are like, that's not Tim. That's not Tim. Tim fucking approves it, man. It's on TimCast's site. Somebody was trying to tell me. I said, TimCast, and part of that, I did a video today talking about how Eliza Bleu stole from charity, which she did. When she takes that money from Hotep Jesus, she steals that money. He says, hey, this is for This is for survivors. It's for, he tried to do a good thing with it after he's browbeaten into giving money. She says, nah, no, that's for me. Well, that piece that was put out, Shane Cashman, again, on TimCast here, he puts in a part, he asks about that. And she's like, well, that was only $93. I also wondered, there's a screenshot of the money being given, and they didn't redact his name or anything. Now, again, I don't know a lot about Hotep Jesus with that, but I would think you'd want to redact the real name sender and just maybe put Hotep. I mean, redact the sender of money so people don't know exactly what it's coming from. That's just my idea, but what do I know, right? I mean, you could redact a couple of names there, but again, they didn't say they asked anybody for permission. In fact, they didn't contact anyone else, but they threw that out there. But some people were like, well, TimCast didn't. They did a hit piece where they shit on us all. They approved of everything in that message. They told us that we were the perpetual trauma machine and that essentially Eliza Bleu is our victim. So they were okay with that. They were okay with the lies. They're okay with everything. They defended it all.
A video about Joe Rogan and he gets 115,000 views. He makes a video about Tim Pool and he gets 232,000. We scroll down. Here's another video he makes about Tim Pool. He gets 243,000 views. He makes a video about Eliza Bleu, 61,000. This is what I'm talking about. Tim Pool blocks me, 317,000
I'm
views.
important, baby.
I don't care. I'm talking.
I don't care. I'm just scrolling through your feed to talk about how much I don't care. I don't care. I'm so angry because I don't care. I bet if he took off his beanie, he's so mad that his hair starts regrowing. It's all the shit leaking out. He's like, oh my God, my hair, it's growing back. I don't care. It's a good time. 2012, thanks for the vibe. If I knew how to live stream, I would go live with you to talk about this. Also respond. Superior is Shane, agent. Is Shane an agent of Tim? Oh yeah, he definitely, even more than that. Like he was talking about approval on whether or not he was like, well, I didn't want him to do an article, but okay, yeah, I said fine, go ahead. Again, you're getting approval. He gets editorial decision on it. It's on his website. That he has insight. He definitely. This guy right here, you can't tell me. I mean, the people around him. Go listen to what's his name? Adam. What's his name? Krigler. I mess up his name so much. I follow him too, actually. But he was on there. He talked about how everything fell apart, and he talked about ego. Ego was what destroyed because he would question Tim Pool and stuff. And if you look at I was curious about that. So I went back to certain shows that people would highlight and you could see, yeah, he would question. If you look at stuff now, it's not so much, a lot of people just fall in line. That's the one thing that, what's his face that made the video, Ian, I can't think of his name, that's on there that actually said, yeah, this is a problem. It kind of surprised me to see that come up today. It very much surprised me. But then again, maybe this is all damage control, because it really... there's a lot of damage control needing to be done. I mean, I do find it interesting that all of this stuff happens together. I'm not saying that is the thing, but the optic on it was shit on me for 3 or 4 days with a lot of other people. And then all of a sudden everyone is like, maybe this is a problem. Yeah. Except Tim didn't really say this is a problem. He's saying, I don't want to fight right now because this other stuff is important. And it's like, fuck you, dude. Us eating shit again. We're not Project Veritas. We can't get you enough clout. So that's okay. Hey, what's up, Lost Little Man? Thanks for the Tim. Here's money for you so you can mock. You mock Tim even more. Indeed. Thank you. That's funny. Mickey, thank you for the 5. This woman is the daughter of a politician. If she was trafficked, it would have been headline news. The article really bothered me. Because of the way that, again, a real journalist would have taken this stuff to task. I don't know how many real journalists are out there anymore. I don't know. But a real journalist would have had a problem with, and again, I know this is a byproduct of the times we live in too, but she says, okay, if I tell you I was trafficked for 5 years and I escaped, what would you think? your head canon on that. You would think of this sexy pickle. You would think about me, being forced to do all those awful things, and finally me getting away, right? Then you find out, no, it was a relationship, and she could leave at any time. I'm not saying there's no coercion or anything like that. I'm not, but it's so misleading. Again, she was an addict. She was selling herself for money. Again, no judgment on that, dude. I've been down the addiction road. I don't have the benefit of selling the sexy pickle, so it doesn't work that well for me. But if you did, I can understand, man. I've known people who've done some jacked up stuff because of problems. Everybody has a past, but the lie in that, going in and saying, well, I might have this one thing, and then months later, something else happens. That's not you being trafficked. You intentionally misled people on what transpired. You intentionally misled them. And you did that because there are giant holes in your story. Like she said, okay, she was asked about the video where she says, I turned down a dude for $150,000 for sex. Which, if you're in the middle of trafficking, nobody's going to let you walk away. You did a video, you bragged about it. Let's just say, hypothetically, in this situation, you can go out and you can do your own thing back and forth, and you return to this person who pimps you out. What do you think your pimp's going to do when they find out that you turned down 150 grand? Not to mention the addiction thing. If you're an addict, you don't turn down 150 grand. You don't turn down 20 bucks. If you've gone down that road far enough, you're not turning down money. That's life changing. That's buying kilo money. You know what I mean? I mean, that's moving weight money. So you are definitely not turning that stuff down. But what did Cashman allow? He allowed she says, I was drunk or high. Listen, I don't really remember what was going on. Oh, fuck all that, dude. Like, the story became something different because there were so many holes in it. I mean, you could just throw a dart at a day and you could find something. She recorded her life back then. So it had to become something different. The standard definition no longer works. But this is the same person that tells you that you can be trafficked on Twitter. So, it annoyed me a lot. Comrade Kitty, thanks for the umbrella is selling sexy toast, but not sexy pickles. You can get a sexy pickle t-shirt if you like that, though. If that's your thing, you can get one on umbrella.com. Night Owl, thanks for the 10 there. Superfly, thank you for the sticker. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thinking about this only because I talk about what I care about talking about and what I think is important and what should be talked about. That is, if there is something that I think is...
You're talking about this, though. Oh, my God. I'm going to have a fucking stroke, man. I'm going to talk about what's important. So what's important is when you get butthurt, you talk about a subject. But it's the same side. He's talking about it. Why not address the subject instead of attacking every single person that said, what the fuck, dude? I mean, it really snowballed when he started going after people. That's when I started talking about Tim Pool. That's when I started making fucking content on Tim Pool and Shane Cashman and TimCast. Because they went after all of us. They made sure to do that. All of it's because he's butthurt over Jeremy, man.
Is impactful towards this world, and it I think we'll address it. I think we will. Typically, I don't talk about me because most people who follow me don't know and don't care. But I'll give you an example of what this is. Did I attack my own fans?
Yes.
The answer is no, I didn't. Obviously.
Fuck yes, you did, dude. Do I need to pull up clips about that? Do I really need to? Do I need to pull up stuff of you telling your members to go fuck off if you care about Jack Murphy? Or if you care about that? You spent so much time attacking and telling people. Again, there's a way that you can handle this stuff. Tim Pool should put on his big boy pants. And he should understand. If I focus on somebody if somebody tells me to denounce something, like, oh, you better denounce or else, I'll be like, yeah, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do that at all. It's not going to happen, You can't tell me what to do. I do believe in don't tell me what to do culture. I don't fucking respond to that kind of thing. But there's a way to handle it. You don't say, "Oh, you fucking members fucking suck. Oh, your audience, this is what you're doing." You understand why this is coming up. If it's one person saying this stuff too, that's just a random person. When you got a whole chat that's going off and you have to be like, those are the Quarterings fans. They're not my fans. They're the Quarterings fans. I mean, again, what the shit? I thought he was a nobody without you, though. Susan Dolan, thank you for that gifted membership, too. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. No, Charles, you are not muted.
Obviously, you're watching this. You're a fan. I never attacked you. Why is Jeremy Hambly lying on his channel? Just like the Young Turks, that's what people do.
Young Turks, baby.
Their goal is just to make money, I guess. Now, of course, they'll accuse me of doing the same thing, but it's weird. I have no problem telling people who are spamming my chat to screw off. I don't care and I don't want your money. And then apparently they cancel their subscriptions, but I'm the person who wants money. I don't. I really don't. So let this be a more personal, let me address my goals and missions and what I think about all of this. I blocked Jeremy Hambly. Why? Because Jeremy Hambly is the rights or the anti-establishment version of the Young Turks.
I don't want your money. I don't love your money. You, the Young Turks. What's up? Oh, God. You know what's beautiful about this, though? I've got intro clips out the wazoo here. I'm gonna at least have fun with this stuff for a week. I'm gonna shove all that shit in there. I don't know when this subject will die. I've been hoping, like, I'll probably cover it through Sunday at least because there's stuff to put on record. I think it's important. But every time I sit down and think, okay, well, this is gonna, I'm going to go look at something else. Other shit pops off. So I'm just along for the ride. But my God, the Young Turks. I mean, again, I've disagreed with Jeremy on stuff. I mean, he and like Flash and other folks have gotten in like drunken arguments and shit. And that sounds okay, man. You can have those. And again, I think all of us can be assholes. All of us. And if you fuck up, you're going to become video fodder. But for every video that he's complaining about attacking fans, he also did things like Tim Pool got swatted, addressing a serious issue. And that, I mean, it's like, he's not my friend. Okay, well, that's great. I don't go online. I try to look at stuff this way. I typically... I talk about who is my friend more than there are people I don't like. I mean, just in the same, if you want to call them shared spaces, there are people I don't like, but I don't give them the time or the attention. And if they wanted to come at me, I would know how to respond, which wouldn't make me look like an absolute douchebag. Man, I need to get a beanie though.
I never attacked my fans. On TimCast IRL in the super chat section, as people were asking me questions about Eliza Bleu, I pointed out, I'm not going to disavow someone I don't care about. Someone who'd been on the show 2 times out of 710 episodes. 2. Really don't care about Eliza Bleu. We book a lot of people. We booked the Krasensteins. We've booked Matt Binder. We've booked people who are on the left, and I certainly would say are more grifterish than she.
It's not about that. For some reason,
these people care all so much about it. Well, it's fake.
When Jeremy makes videos, fuck this dude, man. Again, what it tells me is that me or people that any of us, if we get hit, we can eat shit. Now, if Tim gets hit, he expects help. He wants to put out the rallying cry. And again, I don't see a problem in that. He knows what's happening, though. This is the issue. He knows what's happening. He knows this is not about somebody. I don't give a fuck if you want to be famous. I don't care. I think fame is poison. I think it's addictive. I think it's poison. I think you should avoid it. But I'm not telling you not to. My little girl, she's like, hey, when I grow up, I want to do YouTube like you, Dad. I want to be famous. I'm like, oh, no. Yeah. Okay. That'd be great. Hey, I want to be famous. If you want to be famous, that's fine. You want to be heard. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem that we know, again, is the lies about background. But also, I mean, the fucking the flagrant censorship. He would ask this if this was anyone else. See, what really gets me wondering about TimCast and his answers. Why is he so determined to not ask that question that he would ask about anyone else if this was happening? He would be on this thing in a freaking cocaine heartbeat. If a young Turk had this problem, oh, he would disassociate and destroy. He would do whatever. But Eliza Bleu, they have all circled the wagons around Eliza Bleu to the point that nothing that she does is either wrong. He said in his behind the scenes stuff when he was talking, he made it very clear that he likes Eliza Bleu and that he supports. He's all down with it. Again, he knows what's happening. He's seen it. He knows what people are talking about. He knows the names of people that are in it, like Brittany Venti and more. And he knows what happened. So I think logically, when people are like, why won't you? Why you're talking about it? You're spending 48 fucking minutes talking about it, but you won't discuss it. The logical question is why? Why? A lot of people are curious. Giant Dad, thanks for the 5. I have the bone to pick with Jeremy, but this ain't it. The guy is notorious for dragging out videos before getting to the point. I had to stop watching. I mean, I'm long-winded. I'm long-winded. It takes me, I made a conscious effort. If you go way back to videos, I would have like 13 to 15 minute videos all the time. My videos are they're at least usually 8.5. Sometimes I'll go over, but I try to get them in the 8 to 9 minute range. That's if I consciously put a point on there. Yeah. No, I am long-winded though. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, I also learned this. I can never think that other people know what's going on. So when I do a video, I try to give at least a tiny portion of catch up because other people are always finding it, and rambling and shit. I learned again, you can see how hard I have trouble staying on topic. I have a lot of trouble. I have that in videos too. I had to learn how to cut all of that out. And it was good feedback. People gave me all type of good feedback, cutting out certain colloquialisms, that kind of stuff. I got that stuff. Audiences do give you feedback on, and I do think that's good too. I think a lot of people have helped me with that. Twin 12, thanks for 2. Answer the EB question. My email tells why. I'll check it out in a minute. Thank you, buddy. JK Ring? Is that how that goes? Thanks for the 5. Hey, Tug. Tim said something about censorship on Twitter about 10 minutes ago. I guess I'll check that out. Well, I'll see what he has to say there. And thanks for the 5. Tim seems to feel like he doesn't need to support minor creators, and now is tossing them all aside. I mean, that's how it feels, That's how it looks and feels there. Amy, thanks for the $1.49 and the hearts. Thank you for that. Tim did unblock Jeremy finally. So all this butt hurt. Again, it's because he got blowback, though. Like, that's what pisses me off. We're all supposed to sit around and sing Kumbaya because somebody shits on us for days. Like, he let me know what he thought. He let me very well know. He came out. Again, this fucking dude has his in-house writer do a fucking hit piece on all of us. They did a flagrant hit piece on us. We're nothing more than leeches and other shit. This is the same talking point. A day ago it wasn't. It's because he's bleeding subs for it and he's losing money. So yeah, I'm glad that he's going to be all friends with Jeremy. I'm glad they can fucking hold hands and play patty cake or whatever the fuck. That's great. That's great. If Jeremy wants that, cool, man. It's not my life. I don't care. That's cool with him. That's good that they can bury that proverbial hatchet. But the way that it was counted, like, it bothers me to hear he framed Jeremy. If it wouldn't have been over a massive blowback, he had Hambley threatening him. That's the way he said. He said, "Oh, Jeremy Hambley threatened me." He did all these fucked up stuff, and he brought in outsiders, not just his crew. He brought in his guests and got them involved in this shit to go after everyone. But when he talked about Hambly, again, he didn't just say he insulted me or anything else. He said he threatened me. I mean, again, do you think it would have changed without blowback? And that's what really bothers me about this shit. Now, I'll think about it for a day. I'll after I go with this, I'm still going to tear that Cashman article apart in videos. Fuck that noise. They deserve it. And I think only fools forgive. I don't know if walking forward, of course, we'll all walk forward, but I know now for sure that if my channel ever eats shit, that this person will never stand with me. And I already knew that. Because I don't matter. I'm insignificant. And that's his choice. That's mine. But to say, to again, cover this stuff and to just flagrantly say it, not ignore the issue. Talk about it, but to talk about it from the perspective of how fucking dare you? I mean, come on, man. Come on. Does that make sense? Like, I'll ask you folks, am I being an ass saying it that way? Do you think that's an asshole way to be? Do we think I should just drop things and be like, yo, just a mistake? That's cool. I mean, fucking, he doesn't plan to do anything with it. He just wants people to stop talking about it because it's harmful to his brand. But the thing is, what I'm saying is not me being harmful to his brand. I'm talking about his own fucking words here. I don't think that's unfair. Ghost Crusader, thanks for the 10. Yeah, he's losing subs and followers, so he apologized and shared Chrissy Mayer's post about how Eliza got 4 videos removed. It's all about losing subs. I mean, he's been shitting on us for days. Again, Cashman, holy shit. That Cashman, I don't owe him anything. He's never going to boost me or anything else. We're not in the same fucking club. If he wants to come at me, he can. I don't give a fuck. He's not going to hurt me. Like, I don't care. I don't care at all. But I'm telling you, I'm tired of shit like this. I'm tired of fucking fair weather allies too. Because a fair weather ally like Tim is a fucking enemy. This guy has been an enemy for days. He's been trying to attack us, shut us down. He does the same shit that the mainstream media has done. I mean, again, that Cashman article, it is nastier than a fucking Taylor Lorenz hit piece. It's nastier than that. That end, oh yeah. But hey, man, we're all allies in the game now. We all got skin in it, baby. Man, fuck all that noise. I'm tired of people like this. Again, I've got plenty of, you know what? I got plenty of fucking fair weather. I learned this really early on. There are plenty of people that when it's useful for them, they will stand by you. But the people that matter is when you eat shit and you need somebody to help you, those people that throw you a lifeline, they matter. That's why, again, I talk about people like Flash or whomever. Those are my friends. But again, you got people, I don't really know Hambly, for example. I don't know the quartering. But I do know when I ate shit for something, when somebody tried to burn my life down, that dude was like, nah, this ain't right. And he stood up with it. That matters. On the other side of that, I know I'm never getting that there. He made it clear we're too small. We don't matter. Now we matter because of blowback. But in the regular mindset of Tim Pool, we don't matter. And that's a fucked up way to look at the world. Because ultimately, we matter if we back his crusade, whatever he says that he's doing that quote unquote changes the world. But if we all eat shit, one day he's going to too. And when it happens to us, it doesn't matter then. Ultimately, you're going to stand on the top of that hill all by your lonesome. Everybody else falls on that sword. One day it'll matter to you. By then, it's too late. It just annoys me. Yo, B, thanks for the 5. Pool pay. Indeed. Thank you. Is Tim still trying to go into buying Bitcoin? I have no idea about the Bitcoin or anything like that. I don't know any of that, you know. I don't know why Tim got so. I don't like. I remember when he got popular. It was around the, I had a channel. Like I've had a channel for a long time, but I didn't use it. My original channel popped up because I would make Amazon product videos, and I'd get stuff for. This was before before they changed their rules about samples, and I think they should have, but I would put up a video, and then you had scammer places that would come up here. They would steal videos and they would try to lead you to scammer places. So I made a channel to make sure that I could take down scam. Like they would take 100% of a video and try to lead you to some scammy website. And I was like, oh, forget that. I'm not having my shit used that way. But my channel didn't exist until, I don't know, 2017, I think is when it kicked up. But yeah, I don't even remember what the point of that was. I lost my train of thought. I am very shiny squirrel. You have to excuse me. If I get way off in the weeds, you just be able to be like, yo, what's up, man? You're way off on the side. I don't even remember what the fuck my point was. Shit. Optimus, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you for that. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I had some epiphany or something when I forget what the fuck I'm talking about either. Ray, thanks for tuning. Did I see his latest tweet? I'll look at it. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to look at it. Give me a second. I got to look. Okay. Oh, man. Okay, so here, let me show. I'm going to continue covering this video, but now Chrissy Mayer getting hit for 4 times was definitely censorship. 24 people ate shit. 24 ate shit on their YouTube channels, and it didn't matter. Before that, on Twitter, dozens and dozens of people they got hit, banned, perma-banned. They were getting hit for all types of things, not just associated with that one link. That is misdirection. That is a lie. They were hit for jokes. They're hit for all kinds of stuff. And all Tim Pool had to fucking say was, hey, man, this is wrong. This needs to stop, because he has a platform that is big enough that maybe it could have stopped the bans. But instead, he had to wait until the damage came, until it was convenient to speak, because everyone else had to die on the fucking altar so he could stand on your back and fucking finally, when he's bleeding subs, be like, yo, now this is a problem, baby. Now this is a fucking problem. How many people have to fucking lose something before it matters? Well, the answer is 1. Tim Pool had to lose something. But until that, nothing mattered. Censorship didn't matter. It's Tim Pool lost something that fucking mattered. That pisses me off. Yeah, he's sharing it. Great, man. Everybody's going to be like singing Kumbaya, patting each other on the back and shit. He also, he and Jeremy are making good. No hate on the quartering with this. It's probably brand beneficial to move forward. That's good. Together again. Yeah, that's great. After you fucking had a multiple cope sessions and shit all over the dude, though. Like, I'm not that forgiving. I don't want to fucking play a game. I have no ambition to be on Tim Pool's show. I have no ambition to fucking care. If I get big enough there, I don't care. You'd be a side note. I wouldn't give a shit. So it doesn't matter to me. I understand networking. Maybe that's one of my problems. I understand it, but I just don't care. Because when somebody shits on me over and over again, yeah, I'll forget about them. I'll put them over to the side and remember that. But I remember this is what they really thought about me. This is what they really thought about what we do. This is what they really thought about this whole idea. This has been going on since the 20th, I believe. I think it kicked off on the 20th or the 21st. I'd have to check the date to make sure, but I believe it was then. You can see it in the sub-loss for Eliza Bleu. So we've been looking at something that has been going on weeks, plural, weeks, and it didn't matter. But when Tim Pool saw his money declining, then it mattered. Which again, I wouldn't say that typically, like, oh, that got you to cover. Okay, well, that's fair. You see money or whatever, if that gets you involved normally. But this is my problem. He made it well known what he thought. He put together a 50-minute fuck you. And I'm not willing to lay down and be like, yo, man, it's all good. So we can pretend that we're all on the same team. We're not. Apparently we're not. He wants to shop this idea of tribalism. Fuck you. That's tribalism. That's tribalism. To tell me to sit down, shut the fuck up. Now we're all on the same team. We're all good to go. We're golden. Nah, baby. You told me what you thought about me. That's okay. You can hate me all you want to, But you told me. When my opinion, it only matters if I fucking walk lockstep. And I'm not good at that. I'm not good at it at all. What if he says he's sorry? What if he says he's sorry? What if? Okay. Like, at what point now suddenly the censor, he made a fucking 50-minute, again, he hid for his members. He went behind the scenes, locked this shit off, and talked absolute trash about everything. He lied to his guests to do this kind of stuff. He's attacked his audience multiple times. It's been fucking days and days of it. And then the Cashman article is just the icing on the cake, as it were. Because again, that, had to have approval. And that thing is a blatant fuck you. It was time to, oh my God. Like, that's a question I'd like to know. What about this then? Since it all matters again, since all this matters, let me take this picture down for a second. We'll come back to it. But since all of this matters again, I one thing I don't understand. I need to pull this up. Just give me 1 second. I have a point to make with this, and I will make my fucking point. What I don't understand, though, is yesterday when this stuff comes up, we are all, quote, here we are. We are all, quote, gangs of leeches that suck at the skin of the machine we can't comprehend the full scope of. We're nothing more than fucking scum, man. Today, though, we're somehow not. So does this? Are you gonna do something about that? It still stands, right? Is that the reality? You gonna go in and fucking apologize for this shit? Because like I said, if this is in the same league as a Taylor Lorenz article, this tried to hurt our channels. This tried to hurt his audience. This was aimed directly at us all. This didn't take a specific aim because it was aimed at everyone. And he said in this shit that it didn't even matter what we said. He didn't want to get anybody else's side of this. So the people that were banned and stuff, the people that lost on the very thing that he's saying now is a problem, they didn't fucking matter yesterday. They haven't mattered for weeks. In fact, it was the opposite. They were the problem. Eliza Bleu was the poor downtrodden victim of this monster mob. But when he started losing stuff, now it's a problem. Mimic, thanks for the 10. Apology or not, he still misrepresented the issue and gaslit his whole audience. And he has no problem doing that for days until the blowback was too much. So why should anyone trust him anymore? Yeah, and that's your prerogative. I'm speaking for me. I'm not telling you to unsub from anybody or anything else. Your money's your money. I ain't spending your money. That's yours. If you want to go bury it in your yard or run over it with a lawnmower, it's your money. Although if you are a billionaire and if you ever like to, I don't know, send me a sports car, I'll take it. But seriously, that is serious there. I would take a sports car or whatever. Camille, thanks for Bob. If I've seen this latest one, he claims he's now interested in the Blue censorship. Yeah. I want to see how that gets walked, for sure. What's up, Ray? Thanks for the 4 months. I sent you a parody Blue t-shirt to your DM. I'll check that out then. Give me a second there. The professional zilch. I'm going to see what people say. 10. How many times must people put their hand on a burning stove before they learn? Apparently the answer is normally more, I think. Meredith, thanks for the 5. I'm concerned with people talking about second privacy complaints. There will be a third thing coming down. People will lose their accounts. Yeah, I'll have to look at the privacy complaints and see how they work now, because I'm not sure that they work as strikes. But yes, you can actually be demonetized and lose your channel over continually to break quote unquote YouTube's guidelines. So what that did is it put them all on the radar of YouTube. It could cost them everything. It may not cost them their channel as far as a strike's concerned, but it may demonetize them for it. And that, I mean, again, you're talking about people, some creators I know, that is their livelihood, you know? I mean, I've been blessed and fortunate in my life that I like what I do in my day job. I still do it, you know, and I don't. Oh, I would flirt with the idea of content creation, but no, man, it scares me. I don't trust YouTube and shit. One day I might wake up and my family can't eat. So I try not to. That way I can talk about whatever I want. If I ever lost my job, maybe I would think differently, but I'm blessed and fortunate there. But other people, they not. That is from day to day what decides whether they eat or not, you know, and that's, even if it wasn't, it's still messed up. Russell Warren, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Stugs. I'm catching a few up real quick. Hey, Griffcast, what's up, man? Thanks for the vibe. Jeremy wants to sell coffee. Tim wants to buy coffee at wholesale. Hashtag Griffcast. What's up, dude, by the way? I hope you're doing good. Man, that's what I'm saying. Like, Defango didn't matter when it came up, did he? You know, he talked about this. In fact, he got attacked by a lot of people personally, I think a lot of people that were misinformed. I understand that Eliza Bleu misinformed a lot of people. Defango got attacked over and over again. A lot of people, I mean, they went at him for months, hardcore. And then they found out the truth about this stuff. And many of them, they were just like, no big deal. And in fact, many of them were silent when Defango got suspended too. And I was like, man, you know, dude paid a really high toll for this stuff. So yeah, I think people should be pissed off about that. Content creators, I think, should be. Thanks for the 5 new sub. Words mean nothing. Actions speak louder than words. Give me liberty or give me death. Indeed, you know, that's like, we're in a fortunate position. Like I'm in a fortunate position. And I talk about subjects that are not platform friendly. Okay, I understand that. Many of the things that I talk about, like I talk about false accusers. I will talk about other things, like I'll talk about companies and their fuck ups, sometimes pop culture. But what I think matters is this accusation culture. And I'll cover accusations. I'll tell you what somebody's being accused of because I want you to see it in its scope. Sometimes I'll just cover random ones because I find it fascinating, especially if a listening believer gets hit with an accusation. I find that to be fascinating. But yeah, I mean, they're not. I play by the platform rules where I censor out certain things, but some people are just afraid to even take a stance sometimes because of they tell you a lot about, yeah, man, we're going to make the difference. We're going to die on this altar of liberty. And yet it matters when. Bad Goat, thanks for the 5. I'm Scroats McGoat. Never forget our fallen brethren. Yes, indeed. Poor Scroats McGoat. Rose, thanks for the 8 months. Love Tug Rants. You will always stand for your principles and don't try to kiss the butts of anyone. This is why we love you and support you. I just try to be honest about what I'm thinking. Maybe my idea will change tomorrow. Let me go back to that video. Maybe it'll change tomorrow, but today, baby, today. I mean, life is a work in progress, right? So let's pull this back up. It's just funny, like all of this doesn't matter anymore. He also hasn't pulled this or anything. So, you know, he didn't mind that 150,000 clicks that this thing pulled. You know, he was okay with all that money. What's up, Denny? Thanks for my Virgin Super Chat. Hang in there, Tug. I appreciate you. Thank you. First one, thank you there. Pull is a sanctimonious weasel who really has no principles. There's a lot of people that, again, I don't know Temple from Adam. No, I've never really interacted with him. He's never fucking taken up any plight that I've had. And that's okay. He doesn't owe me anything, but that's a two-way street. It is a two-way street. Southern Take, thanks for 5. Did I see the video that Adam Grigler took of Eliza? Yeah. Ian actually, so Ian, what's his last name? What's Ian's last name on TimCast? He made a video and he talked about that somewhat. And I thought that was good. I do wonder, though. You know, so Eliza was very inappropriate with Ian. I'll bring that up in a minute, too. She was very inappropriate. for somebody like, I don't like to be touched by people. I don't like handsy drunks. And she's a very handsy drunk, and you could see it. That's why he's panicking and backpedaling now. Well, we saw Ian talk about that. And again, I'm not doing anything anti. I thought it was good that I don't know him either. I found it interesting when it was asked, did he apologize? Tim apologized. He put up a post and said, yeah, now it matters. Now this is bad for Chrissy Mayer for getting hit. Of course, you know, he may have headed off this shit if he would have been loud about it from go instead of telling us all to eat shit, you know, but Martin, I think it's the 20th, Tim's sister points out, he likes reminding people he's an effing millionaire. Dozens had their revenue streams interrupted, and the charitable take is that ego is at fault. Here's why I'd here's what I would spend on my old subject. I will appreciate that for sure. Yeah, like I said, one of my rules here, I will joke about money. I'll joke about it. Like, I'm going to buy a platinum grill. I'll laugh about that. And I wear a lot of rings. Now, a lot of rings I've gotten from, like, my granddad had some, for example. I wear a bunch of rings, and I'll laugh about them, you know. But money flex is nasty. I think it totally shits on the people that are out there struggling from day to day. I learned from my granddaddy a long time ago, you know, you never, if you want to brag about something, you know, you brag about others, you know, you brag about, you brag about something good with other people, but you never try to ego flex. Like, look at my wallet, baby. It's big. 2012, thanks for the 5 lawyer, medical, politics. I'm a better expert than Eliza. How the hell am I not qualified to be able to challenge the narrative? Well, you definitely are, man. Fire up a freaking video. Slap that stuff out there. But anyway, let's
about Joe Rogan. He gets less views than he makes videos about me. That's why he does it. I don't like it. I can't stand it. And you know what? Hopefully, making this video will make these people stop following me. I will make less money, and I will be less relevant to all of these people.
So he told us all to fuck off.
I will say it, and I will say it proudly. I never wanted to be famous. I don't care about being famous. I don't care about being rich. I don't want your money. There are ideas that I care about, and if I care about them enough, I will talk about them. So by all means, keep making up your trash garbage and misrepresenting who I am and what I believe, Jeremy Hambly or the Young Turks. You're all the same as far as I'm concerned.
We're all the same, baby.
On my show, I said, I believed Eliza Bleu is trying to be famous. And
so he just told us we could all fuck off. So yesterday we could all fuck off. We're all the Young Turks. But today, again, when the backlash rains, again, he and Jeremy worked it out. That's great, man. That's great. But he did a lot of stage shit. Like I said, I don't matter. You know, I'm a little pleb with about 399,000 subs. So I said that like I would say granddaddy. That's my granddaddy, man. I don't know. He was a girl. He was a very austere man, quiet all the time. Sit in his chair, go out to his garage, smoke a pipe every now and then. You know, he was a quiet man, but when he spoke, man, knowledge all the time. Just hit you, imparting you with wisdom. War veteran. He'd tell you things like money flexing. He didn't call it that, of course, you know, but he would talk about that. He would tell you, you know, the money flex. Yeah, and call it something different, but it's wrong. It's wrong. You don't, because you never know where the other person sits. You know, you don't brag about you don't brag about how you're a better person than other people do, or this or that. You know, you sacrifice the unspoken is where the moral high ground lies. That's where it lies. And in having to tell people what a good person you are, what a rich person you are, what a great person you are, you just show people that despite your height, you're really a small person. That's what it says. At the end of the day, you're really a fucking small person. And you know, I mean, for me, I collect small people in I collect them on the sole of my shoe because I don't give a fuck like what they may bark at you. They may think that they have platform that you need. We don't need anything from people. If they outgrow if they outgrow the message is what people, this is another valuable lesson. I'm glad I have this. I'm glad I have it because I don't have a face here. Even after doxing, I could go out and put my face. Maybe I will one day. But right now, this is my thinking to it. It's hard for me to feel like I'm egotistical if I'm just a talking pickle. You know what I mean? There's no ego in it. Like it's funny, in fact. I mean, you're arguing with the talking pickle. I mean, who cares? You know, it's a reminder to stay humble because the message is what resonates with folks. And the people that show up are the platform. I may have the microphone, but you have the power to not show up tomorrow. And if you don't show up tomorrow, then the platform is meaningless. I mean, it's meaningful that I have a voice, but it's meaningless in the echo. And that's, I mean, it comes and goes, man. People just, they forget that and boom, they disappear. I've seen 1 million rise and fall videos, 1 million of them. And every time they come up, it's shit like this that happens. No, thanks for the 5 there, Tug. Not an ass. You realize when people are showing you who they are, you believe them. This is something the quartering needs to learn. Very naive. Nah, the quartering, I think this is his point personally. I think the quartering is smart in the fact that he looks at it as a networking thing. You know, there is power in the network for him. But it's not, it's not for for everybody. Like, I still don't embrace the business. I haven't taken any sponsors or anything. I get hit up for sponsorships and shit. I don't do that either. No hate for anybody who does it. But I mean, again, it just, maybe I don't business it enough. Maybe that's a flaw in my perspective of running this thing as far as that. But I don't know, man. I just want the words to get out. Send mine things 5. Careful of all them pamperings. You might come to your house. Oh no. Ray, thanks for the 2. Now Tim Pool is addressing EB live on his show. Oh man. He's going to talk about it now. Everybody's going to rush out. He's managed to build himself up. Oh man, go give him some money because he fucking addressed it, baby. If people can't see what this is, people are going to go, oh, yeah, I'm going to watch it in a minute, too. I'm going to end in a second, then. I'm going to go see what's going on there. But it's damage control. If it doesn't show that it's damage control, I don't know how else to fucking put that. Yeah, he's jumped right into the line of it. I've seen plenty of people do this for so many subjects, too. When there's nothing to lose, when other people have fallen on that hill, then it matters. But before that, it doesn't. And that fucking is so weak and pathetic, man. How many people did you have to walk on? You walked on those people. You fucked over so many folks. And yeah, he can draw 20 times the audience that I can. Great. Good, more power for him. Well, I just, like I said, I don't have to embrace that. And many people will. They'll be like, yay, finally, Tim sees the light. Yeah. Huh. If the light's showing on your wallet, maybe. Like I said, I saw this. I'm going to play a little bit more, and then I'm going to be done with it. I'm just going to let it play for a minute, okay? Keep it in mind, though, when you hear the next cycle.
And there is a PR firm that we know of that the belief I have, based on what I've seen, is
we're all PR.
They create about 50 fake accounts. They get about 50 people. I'm sorry, they get about 10 people to each make about 5 accounts and run them. It's very, very easy to do. And you can watch videos of this where they have cell phones all over the walls. They then will go onto channels and spam the comments and say, cover this story and talk about this thing, in an effort to get prominent personalities to talk about it. And it works. Now, not only do you have Jeremy Hambley with 1.47 million followers making up videos where he says Tim Pool blasts his viewers, when I quite literally said, these people are clearly not fans. We've gained members at TimCast.com. There's no basis behind this. It's just the same Young Turks garbage. It's the same thing I've been complaining about for months as they make up fake things about me. It's the same thing I complain about with Sam Cedar, who
yesterday
makes up
we
fake
were
things
PR.
about me.
We were
it's the same thing I complained
PR.
about with Hassan Piker, a prominent leftist personality who, even when I defend him, finds reason to criticize my agreements with him, going so far as to, When I said we shouldn't be spending money on wars overseas, like Ukraine, he then says, he laughs, says I'm wrong, and then says the military industrial complex is the problem, which is funny because it's like, my guy, we completely agreed. You've not provided a justification for the $100 billion we spent in Ukraine. It's fake. That's all it is. And there are a lot of people who really want that. There's a lot of people who really care about that. Good for you. You're not going to get it from me. I don't care. I think there's a lot of really messed up things happening in this world.
Again, yesterday he was never going to cover
that
this subject, and today he's talking about it live. I don't know how you make that point any clearer. Again, this isn't a day. You know, I get that you change your mind daily, but this is a subject that he definitely knew. He knew it was happening. Again, he has Shane Cashman, who wrote a novel, a fucking novel for that, 80,000 words on this subject. He could have brought in his person that books, Cassandra. She blocked multiple people. She talked shit about them. She fucking bragged about how they had the exclusive, which meant they had the in. It didn't mean that they had answers. It meant that they could talk to Eliza. They humble brag that shit. And now
we are headed in a positive direction that's going to be able to solve these things because this is what people really want. 300. What do we have? Here we go. Tim Pool blasted for article. An article I didn't write. Shane Cashman wrote it. He works here. But he puts my name in the video.
It's on TimCast, mofo. It's on TimCast. You endorse it. It's your channel. You guys, it's the same message that you endorse. You're saying the same shit that he said. You don't say it. You say it a little flowery. You don't call us all fucking blood-sucking leeches, but you did call us that too. He went along with the message. If you were like, yo, man, let's expose Eliza Bleu, he'd have been all over that. And you know it. You know it. This is bullshit. It's bullshit. You can't denounce the article. Can't do that because he's already, again, it echoes the man.
You know, because I guess people are obsessed with me. I would love it if people weren't. Tim Pool blocks me, 317,000 views, and they attacked me for doing it. There's literally nothing you can do in this space. Jeremy Hambly, the Young Turks, Sam Cedar, they're not the only ones. The crew, Brittany Venti. I mean, these channels, I don't care for. They don't talk about things that are going to change the way you buy food. They're not going to help you raise your kids.
We don't matter.
They're not going to solve the problem of crime skyrocketing in your city. They're not going to help you understand why criminals are being let out of jails. But there's a large portion of the internet that really, really wants this.
Tim
absolutely loves it. Don't follow me if that's you. I don't know how to solve this.
He just told you not to follow. If you subscribe to any of our channels or you follow any of that, don't, because we're not changing anything. You know, again, I and many other people, I put almost 3 years of my life into covering one case, one case, because I thought that maybe it would make one statement real. False accusations happen and they matter. They damage, they destroy people. And that anybody, male or female, can actually be an aggrieved party, not just an aggressor, but they can be an aggrieved party. They can be both because we're all individuals. Listen and believe is a cancer. It is a cancer in society and it needs to be cut out. But we're not fixing the problems in the world. We're not. And again, I'm not fucking again trying to say, ooh, look at me in that. I said many people did that too. But I headline read a deep dive to subject as far down the rabbit hole as I could go. There's still more to tell. Now, people like Camille Vasquez are still being hit. You had Dr. Curry, Dr. Muffins. She was ran off of Twitter. The Amber Heard mob ran her off Twitter the other day. They fucking harassed her off. They're going after Raven Simone again for her doing a video 6 months ago. There's an organized harassment campaign destroying people's lives. It hasn't stopped. There are new chapters in it all the time. Part of it's fascination. Part of it, again, is there is a message in something. The world consists of you have to make one simple pronouncement. You got to think about the word. And again, I'm not talking about all you folks. I'm talking about just the world in general. You have to remember the language deficits, the other things that we have. It's not an intellectual deficit necessarily, although there is a portion of that too. But you also have language and cultural deficits, social, all these differences. They come in and they create a barrier. You've got to speak on something over and over again, oftentimes to make it sink in. You have to give examples why that works. And you have to relate it like you're relating it to little kids, because you have to make sure that it's accessible to everyone. I don't personally know if reading headlines about what politicians do fucking changes anything. Maybe it does. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I can't see it from where I sit. I sit in mental health every day. And what I've seen is that every party that has ever come across, all the politicians that come up, they tell us that they're going to change things every time while they cut the funding that we need, that is vital to keep people from walking into places like Walmart and pow-powing everybody. They lie to you. They lie to you on both sides of the spectrum. That doesn't change. And again, I don't think propping one side up really helps. I don't think it does at all. I think if there's a message in there, it's tear it all down. I'm going to play about 3 more minutes. I'm going to let them roll through, and then I think I'm done. I think I made my point with this, and then we'll talk for a minute, and then we'll close out.
Stuff. But I'll tell you some stuff externally outside of all of this as to why I'm done with it. I'm completely done with it. Cancel your subscriptions at TimCast.com if this is what you want. I never wanted your money in the first place. I asked for your memberships at TimCast.com because we want to open a coffee shop. We want to open a coffee shop. The contractors are there. They're planning it because we want people to be able to come to a place to share ideas, to resist what I view as the corruption of what was once a great country, the degradation, the psychotic woke cult. That's what I want to do. What I don't care for is grifters. Outright grifters.
We're all grifters.
They'll accuse me of all of that stuff. Fine. That's fine. But I'll tell you this right now. I'd have no problem, as I always say, hopping in my van and going down by the river and just living it and giving everything up.
Shit.
In fact, it probably...
Yeah, I've seen your skate park and everything else. You ain't giving up your home and stuff. I'm not asking anybody to either. I'm not giving up my home. Shit. I like what I have. I like making money. Well, if people like what I do and they want to support it, that's awesome. And I don't shit on them for it. That's just a simple message, man. He'd live down by the river like he'd hitchhike across America. He doesn't care about your money. Day later.
That would be a whole lot easier. So I would appreciate it if people who followed Sam Cedar, the Young Turks, Hassan, and the Quartering weren't following my channel.
So he just told you.
Because I think this is the kind of lowbrow garbage that doesn't actually solve any problems. Tim Pool attacks his fans. Literally didn't do it. It's not relevant. It has nothing to do with anything. Why talk about this stuff? I get it. Some people like it. Okay. I'll tell you about some personal stuff in my life and why I'm so ready to be at this point. And the level of obsession with me that I have to deal with it's not worth it. It's not at all. And that's why I say I empathize with Joe Rogan. Like, man, like even I talk about Joe Rogan. I did a segment about him because he's in the news. And I think about it like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I just literally shouldn't talk about stuff like this. And we've done a lot of segments about Joe. As I've tried to explain, it's like, well, he's the biggest podcast in the world and we're all in this space. So
why does that matter? Here's a very good point. Why does that matter? Because with the voice that Joe Rogan has, he actually has the ability to evoke societal change. That's why people fear voices like that. And Tim, whether I like Tim or not, Tim has enough reach that he could potentially have halted the bannings. If he would have talked about this when the privacy complaints first launched, that might have stopped what we're seeing today, because these aren't privacy. There will be another wave of them because it worked. So we're going to have more of this. You watch. We'll have more creators hit. More people silenced, just regular people too. His audience is being silenced too. I mean, not people with microphones. I speak about it when I talk about it. I don't want to make, I'm guilty of this sometimes, and I don't mean to be, but I'm guilty of talking about it from a creator's perspective, because I'm a content creator. So, from that, I look at it from that. But everybody is getting hit with this stuff. Just many people, I've been very fortunate. One of the reasons people follow you on Twitter, for example, that people follow, I have 150,000 people following now. Thank you, by the way. If you haven't followed me, follow you there. We can get louder on that platform too. It definitely makes our message loud when we want to speak. But when you do that, you have the ability to magnify that message. That's the power. Everybody coming together. The problem is that many people see that as they're following me because of me. And no, that's not it. They're following you because they think that you are a catalyst for change, and that somehow with enough noise, enough of this mattering, that we can amplify that and we can do something about it. This shouldn't be complicated. I don't know where people go wrong and it becomes about ego. I don't understand. Well, I do know. Actually, like I said, I work in mental health. I no longer do individual therapy. I do some other stuff in mental health. Like I said, I burned on it, but I did for a long time. I could still do it if I wanted to. I don't carry a license with it, but you can do it under other people's license. I don't carry it right now because that's not, I don't ever want to go back to it, man. I don't ever want to sit across from a little kid telling me the worst things in the world. It breaks pieces of you inside. But I do know why people go down these roads. I do. It's because, you start to see the me in the subject, not the we. You flip the W upside down and it looks like an M in the mirror. It's no longer a us in that. It's no longer a we, it's a me. And it's easy to get that confused. It's easy to get that twisted. Like I said, that's why I want to stay a pickle. That's why. Because that's also why I don't like, that's another reason why I don't like doing mainstream interviews. When I was asked about doing interviews because of the trial that went on, and especially about the Taylor Loren stuff, when she did hit pieces, I got hit up by a few places. I asked them instead to do interviews with people that are survivors of the very thing that we're talking about. Why do survivors back this message? If you ask them that, then you'll understand why this matters, why it's significant. My voice, it's just me reciting court findings, telling you my opinion on a document. And you're smart enough to do that too. But it takes a lot of us to fucking put that in front of other people. It doesn't make you special, though. It doesn't make you big brained either. There are many of you that are smarter than me. I'm just a country boy. You hear it on me. I'm just a fucking person from Tennessee, man. You're in the deep South. I love it out here. We have a lot of transplants coming here because they want to love it too. I have my opinion on that too. I'll rant about that one day. But yeah, that doesn't make me anybody. Anyway, a little bit more.
Come after him when they criticize him. We talk about that. We either provide defense or some context.
Defense.
Sure.
Should I defend it, Tim? Is that what I should do?
What I've been dealing with over the past year is we've been swatted 15 times.
That's wrong.
We get bomb threats. We've had the studio evacuated. I've had people threaten my life. And then, I have to deal with the likes of Jeremy Hambley making videos saying, assassination attempt on Tim Pool, just like extreme hyperbole and stuff like that, shock bait, garbage content. And I'm just like,
So now even covering, you see this when it's all in, it's all in. So when people call in a bomb threat or they try to swat you, an attempted swatting is an attempted swatting. That isn't definitely an assassination, Jim. Somebody's trying to kill you. Hambley's been there. He's been there. I've seen it. I've seen what it looks like. Like I said, I'm lucky. Like we have podunk law enforcement, but I have that clip I like to play sometimes. This one.
You know what? I talk to your mayor.
Yeah, mayor, DA, been there. It sucks. I back anybody if you've been through that. And yeah, you know what those words do? You know why I like words like wreck? Well, first of all, wreck is a word that attracts attention. Yeah, very much so. Some people call that, clickbaity. You got to get people to click a video. I found in YouTube very early on that if I tell you, if I tell you in the title, most people are headline readers. 85% of people are headline readers. That's what we found in studies on Twitter. They just read headlines. If you give away everything that happens in a headline, it doesn't move necessarily. So Hamley's figured out how to put that information in front of someone. If you don't like the way that it's presented, you're ignoring the idea that it worked. I mean, he's even complaining about the videos that benefited him in this. Because again, Hamley's the enemy. Deep down, he decided that because of the blowback. Again, his audience started asking for something, and in that, other people were the enemy. They were the leaders of a PR campaign, an organized PR campaign. Again, for days we've been an organized PR campaign, but now suddenly we're not anymore. We're just going to set that aside because, again, he's going to effectively turn this into I was just trolling you guys. He's done this a million times, man. I've watched it. I've seen him do that. My problem with Tim, too, is he likes people to pay the price for whatever he thinks he wants to advocate for. Before he told my real issue, this so pissed me off. And I've mentioned this every time I've streamed about him. When the beer bug came up, when he was talking about the shot, when he was saying, if you oppose that, you have to do that not anonymously. You have to do it under your own name. And you have to, no matter what, even if you oppose it, you have to give up everything, essentially. I mean, these are, all companies stared down it too. These were company wreckers. Like while this shit is going on and people are arguing back and forth, and mental health, what we were finding was we lose a nurse practitioner in rural mental health. We lose one. It takes us 6 months to a year to replace them. I'm not going to say how many we have, but let's just say we lose 3. That can potentially be a company breaker. What does that mean for companies? Well, that's bad. But what does it mean for clientele? It means that tens of thousands of people, if a company goes under because of it, tens of thousands of people get displaced. Now, you're telling me, though, that those folks, they should make this decision. They should be loud about it, which might cost them their job. Anyway, they should do it under their own face, be recognizable with it. They should make this moral stand no matter what it costs, no matter how many people it affects them personally, professionally, or more. I hate that. And what I really hate is the wreckage that's left behind with messages like that will never be picked up by these people. They will never cover it. They may cover you as a blip, but they will never help you. They would never feed your family. I find that to be poison. And it's not. I think sometimes, people will say things with passion, but it was something when this came up and people argued that, it would come up over and over again. No, you're fake. You're a phony. And that's because everybody, again, the people that show up, the audience that is there. I mean, you're asking them to pay the ultimate price when you don't live that same life. When you yourself, you won't cover things a specific way. You know the rules of platforms and stuff, and yourself, you won't give up your business to do this. I mean, you notice when I bring it up, I call it the beer bug and more because I know the rules on these platforms too. I understand that. We all know what's there, but again, people are being asked to pay this price. I have a problem with that, and I have a problem with standing on the back of other people after many of them pay the price. While you spit on them over and over again, then they suddenly matter. Like I said, in a few days, the public consciousness will forget the way that this happened. It'll be a blip on the radar. Everybody's done their hug session and everything else. So it doesn't matter anymore. It won't matter. All the creators that ate shit, there will be this idea of a unified fucking stance against things. It's just people had to pay the price for almost a month. Again, we were attacked repeatedly by the very people that want to claim that they're our allies in this game. They are my allies, man. I can't tell the difference between them and the mainstream media, or them and Eliza Bleu. I can't tell the difference. And if I can't tell the difference, then I can't call them. Anyway, let me hit some super chats that I missed. You get the point of that. If you want to check out that video too, and really, I do want you. Well, let me point out the one thing that I want to tie to that too. Let me point out this one thing. This is what caused this is what I think caused all of this. Again, here's his apology that he put out. This is today. Okay. This is what he had to say. I need to put this in here for sure before I forget.
Put it that way. So, well, certainly I have my personal feelings. I'm going to start this video out by saying this to all the people who are upset with me, especially over the video that I put out the other day. You know what? I'm going to apologize. Absolutely. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Obviously, we have our differences, and obviously I feel a certain way, but I don't want to fight with you. Not right now. Not after reading these stories about these murders, not after seeing what's going on with Project Veritas, and not after Project Veritas did something so important. So to all of you who are upset, I do apologize because it was stupid. We can't do this. It was stupid considering what's going on with the Daily Wire and Steven Crowder. And I think you guys need to figure out how to work that one out as well, because this one freaked me out. I started, I got to be careful about what I say to protect sources.
So it mattered after the Daily Wire and stuff. And again, it wasn't, I'm going to address subjects. It's that we don't need to fight about it. Nobody was fighting with him. Nobody at all. He had this perception of it because, again, he kept circling the wagon. He put out the attacks. He kept going. His audience was bringing up something. He talked about it publicly. And what set this snowball going downhill and turned into an avalanche is when he got blowback from it, his own audience said, yo, this is messed up. And he was like, well, I would cover it, but the quartering canceled on me. And again, if it would have been booked for that day, he could have replaced. He could have talked to anybody else. He had weeks to do that. He could have talked to Brittany Venti. He could have talked to Chris Meyer. He could have talked to many person. Yellow Flash. Any of these folks that have been hit. But he chose not to. He chose to pass the buck, as it were, and to say, he deleted all these tweets about this, but he asked, hey, do you want me to cover this? And he pretended that he didn't know anything about it. He brought it up live. He pretended that he didn't know anything about the subject at all. While he had an embedded writer with this person. They were traveling there with them. They did all of this stuff. And you could tell because of the public blowback that they changed the article that they wrote. They changed the way that it's set up. But their stance very much is a circle the wagons with Eliza Bleu stance. Again, he misrepresented everything that people did. He tried to say that people went after Eliza Bleu and they were doing this unfairly because she's a fame seeker. She's just out there doing the things that most people do. She's a clout goblin. And again, clout goblin is the problem. And it's not. That's not. Anyway. And the bus, thanks for the 5. Remember Tug is the guy. Oh, remember Tug. Tim is the guy that said, just go buy a farm. I forgot about that too. Yeah. I forgot all about that, man. It's funny. It's funny, man. I've lived out, when I was young, my first jobs as a teen. Now I'd been doing this before. My first jobs as a teen. Oh man, what's the work too? We're working around farms. There was a guy named Mr. Grissom. Mr. Grissom, he would hire us to throw hay bales. Baling hay and throwing is it's such a. He didn't have a like the little hay escalator, the little auto loader, and didn't have one of those. So, you throw it, which sucks. You've been out there all day. When you start at the top of the pile of hay and you're throwing it through the little opening on the barn at the, the higher floor. Yeah, that's easy at first, but it doesn't get easy through the day. The pile gets lower and you keep throwing. We go out, we cut and hang tobacco. We do just all kinds of stuff. But he also had cattle. We would, We go out, you know, we build makeshift barns. I was like, man, is this thing going to stand? Because I didn't know anything about that. But yeah, you know, you go out, and these people have no idea what kind of work that is. They have no idea. It's just so funny. I always love looking at these, like a city transplant that thinks that this life is it's an easy one. It's hard, man. I wouldn't wish farming. My uncle is he raises cattle, and he's also, for the longest time, he raised soybeans until he got to the point that he can't make a living in it. And what's crazy is the government came in and wanted to put like a 20-year lease on his land. See, the place I live is the #1 nursery capital of the world. Like we are the nursery capital, you know, which means we grow trees. Like the land around here is amazing. My grandfather, that's what he does. He owns a nursery, and I have other family members. They run nurseries. But the government came in and put a 20-year lease on it. So that's what he does, but he still raises cattle. My granddaddy raised cattle. You know, I know that life. I did not want that life. Look, it's a hard life. It's rough. Now there's, you know, nursery business is good business. Oh, it's rough. Going out, digging trees and stuff, man, that is rough work. Anyway, but yeah, the buy a farm, it's not so easy. Dreadnought thinks the 5 Tim is going to learn that you cannot cater to the hate moms. No matter how much an ally he is, the mom will eventually come from him in the end. Yeah, that's what he needs to differentiate too. Actual criticism from hate. Like the Young Turks. Oh, they very much. They will be diametrically opposed to everything he does. And they will definitely put out videos on him no matter what he does. No matter if it's good, bad, whatever. But to say that somebody doing a pro video, like Jeremy Hamley doing a pro video about swatting, is the same as the Young Turks commentary. It's just fascinating level of insight into the person, you know? Let's see. I'm rolling back, make sure I catch everybody. Adam Crick, although his stuff, his discussions about Temple were fascinating from his perspective, you know, why things went wrong. And it was all about ego. Like you see this come up again and again. And I'm not saying, you know, again, ego has to play a portion of it. You have to be confident. Self-confidence, there's a poison in things. Self-confidence is not negative. Ego is negative. Ego is a poison. There's a big difference. Kim's like yen delusional and a lunchbox. That's funny. Let me see. I'm just making sure I catch everybody. I hope to never get. I follow the Ricada Law logic on super chats. I don't care if we sit here 4 hours and list that. If one of my major problems in life is I have to sit down and read money. Oh my God, what a terrible thing. When channels get to that, and I realize, like, again, you know, when the Depp trial, when like 40,000 or 50,000 people are there, it'd take 3 or 4 hours to go through it. But man, people are speaking. And again, you know, that's not a bad position to be in. That's an amazing place to be. McGoy, thanks for the 2. Remember, it's different when it's him. Indeed. Indeed. Like I said, you know, in a few days, we'll all be like, there'll be so many people that be like, oh man, y'all are on the same side, you know, you're all friends and stuff. And it'll just wash away because this supposedly makes things better. He didn't fucking apologize. He apologized to Jeremy. That's great. But, you know, I mean, he named Brittany Venti how many times in that video? How many times did he go after her publicly? And she is if you don't like Brittany Venti, that's your business. But in this instance, no matter what you think about anybody, in this instance, she is 100% right. So even if you hate her content, you despised her as a bird, which I'm not saying that I do in any way. I don't know Brittany Venti well, but I've been on live streams with her. I think I've been on 2 live streams, maybe. I don't remember. I can't remember if I have or I haven't. But I've always had a positive association there. I've not had anything negative, so I don't mean that as a negative. Stark Pants, thanks for the 5. Pole dancing pickle, please. Man, wouldn't that be sexy? I need somebody to make a little animation. That'd be funny. A little pole dancing pickle. I would put that in my intro. That'd be hilarious. For real. 2012, thanks for the 2. Can I be your internet neighbor? Indeed, yes, indeed. Comrade Kitty, thanks for the 2. Umbrella selling sexy toes, but not sexy pickles. Like I said, those are on the website if you want a sexy pickle. Let me check. John, I think I caught your thank you. If I didn't, thank you back, though. Appreciate that. I do need to check out Anna's stream from last night because there was a couple of people that mentioned that, too. I did not catch it all. Yeah, the super chat window has been weird, so I'm having to scroll it. Slowly. 2012, thanks for the tune there. PR was promoting EB and Venti crashed that. Indeed, she was supposed to be the next big thing. I think that she was supposed to. I think she was supposed to grow into the face of advocacy for the conservative side of things. I think that was supposed to be the push. And the unfortunate thing is, and people need to understand this, I don't care which side of the spectrum that you sit on, you need to understand one thing. Listen and believe is listen and believe. It doesn't matter what mask it says. If it pretends to share your faith or it shares it pretends to share your values, because it doesn't share your values. If you oppose that, just because it puts on the political face and it uses certain buzzwords, like what I heard on TimCast when, and I actually thought, in that second interview, I thought he wasn't. So see, this is what surprised me with all this mess too, because he wasn't just going along with her at first. He was actually a little bit of a, what the heck, like what's here? Like, what do we embrace with it? So I thought he asked some questions. Again, he could have been, nobody knew who she was, so I'm not going to judge anything there. But when I watched that, I did think, just like most audience people, they thought, man, this person seems fake. There's something wrong here. So the response, it took me aback a little bit. I saw some of that interview when it came up with the Tate stuff, because like everyone, I think everyone was curious about, what was happening with Andrew Tate. And she came out and, she was positioning herself as a spokesperson for them. And they gave press releases, but they didn't offer anything. Now, there's a lot of other stuff with Andrew Tate that's already out there that, again, I can't speak to a case because there is no case. It's under investigation. But I think his own words say some very bad things about him. Men and women. When I've listened to not clips. I hunted down actual, interviewed sources as much as I could. And he talked about the manipulation of women, getting them in the sex industry, make them think you love them. And so that's what I say, with coercion, with the Eliza Bleu thing, she's effectively trying to utilize the idea of coercion. And it is quite effective. When she said, I've been trafficked for X amount of years, and then she talks about coercion in it. It's effective because it's such a nebulous idea. It's so vast, you can lose the problems that she brought up in it. But Tate also talked about manipulating men as well. He talked about, he'd have women bleed men on, bleed them for as much money as he could get out of them. I saw those things. I thought, wow, that's pretty fucked up. I'd never seen that side of it either. He had many people have good things to say about issues. Like, he'd throw some outlandish shit out there, and some of the things would be actually positive comments with that new face that he had. He would take something in that last year when he was rebranding, when he was coming back out, and you get clips. But they're just some basic statements, like, hey, men matter too. Like, that shouldn't be an epiphany for anybody. If it is, if that's an epiphany, it says more about our society than it says about the person saying it, I think. But I did say Ian Crossland. People should go watch his video and see what he had to say about everything too. Because he did talk about some of the stuff that's come up. 2012, thanks for the 2. Send another one that says states cover our tests. Yeah, I was wondering. So even if they're pay covered, for the itemization, I'm going to go down to the hospital tomorrow and I'm going to ask them about item. I think I know somebody in billing. If I can get a hold of them, if tomorrow's Friday, I could probably do that in the next couple of days. I could go in and just see how they currently, not with laws or anything, not, if you read the Cashman article, they were talking about rape kits, and they were talking about them billing into insurance and how that comes up. And I could just go to the hospital and ask them about it. I go talk to their billing person and see, how that's itemized, how that would appear, like if you had an itemized thing, how the payment of that comes up, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll ask in the moment in my own state. Again, I can't answer the questions of California back when, but I could at least understand how it works now. But thanks for the 2. Say no Veritas Tinder date article. Indeed. In 2012, I missed I do know the answer to. Thank you for that as well. I do need that just an op, bro. I very much need that. All right, I think I'm caught up. I think I caught up everybody. Well, let me catch the last ones that came in. And again, there is a bigger issue in here than a Tim Pool or what Tim Pool said. It's just like, oh my God. Hey, what's up? Well, thanks for the 10 there. Have you had a chance to watch Ian Crossland's video on the situation? Yeah, I saw him. I thought it was good that somebody came out in that camp and talked about it. I do wonder why today, after so much stuff. Again, I don't know him, so I'm not mean that negatively. I just, my curiosity is, every one of them. I'm waiting for Shane. To come back and change up his article, if that happens, then yeah, very much so. Or him to add another piece to it, another component that says, wait a minute. Because again, they told us they don't want our side of things. Like the same people that he insulted in that article and said didn't matter. Their opinions don't matter. I'm not even going to interview them. Now, Tim is sharing where they got hit. So again, everything changed today. It's just odd, isn't it? Beautifully. Thanks for the tune. JD said it. Tragic ambition. Indeed. Indeed. Heather, thanks for the tune. Can't we all just get along? Unfortunately, the real answer to that is no. But I think people can pretend to get along. When I'm covering any subject, there are people in that space I don't like, but it doesn't matter if I like them or not. It's not about me. Like if I was covering the Depp trial, for example, that trial is not about me. Am I going to have moments with somebody? Yeah, sure. Maybe every now and then, but I always keep it in perspective. It's Goldberg. Thanks for the 5. Thanks for standing up for what's right and against undeserved censorship. But most importantly, for your empathy. Truth never perishes. Well, you've got a dangerous thing that we're walking in this. And I don't know the answer to it. I have no idea how to answer this because it's we're in the moment of figuring these things out. False allegations leads to a lack of empathy with people. People using the clout of what other people live through. They use it as clout instead of, surviving it. That leads to a lack of empathy. And that doesn't need to happen. How do we fix that? Well, obviously we fix it by trying to weed out the people that lie about these things, that destroy people's lives. I think that's destructive. I think, false accusers destroy people's lives, but again, these people that wear this is stolen valor, they destroy lives too. They destroy it in another way, but it's just as effective. How do you fix the empathy problem though? I don't know. I don't know. I hope one day we come to a solution where we can all, again, flushing out the fakes. I in fact think that when you, okay, like Eliza Bleu, here's another thing with her. I think when you take her to task, it's a warning for other people that do this shit as well. It won't be tolerated. And you know, the people that are right there in the front, the people right there that are carrying that banner, many of them are survivors. But you're never going to eliminate these folks, unfortunately. I mean, we've seen them pop up. Me Too has been rife with them. People not only just, you know, securing vendetta, but going further. What's up, Salt Storm? Thanks for the 5 there. We're your sponsor, Tug. Everyone wish General Tuggernots good luck. He's getting married tomorrow. Oh, man. Tuggernaut. What's up, General Tuggernaut, by the way? Props to you. You know, everybody wished them well on their marriage. It has been a long road for them. It was, they had some horrible speed bumps, some nastiness that came up, you know, with crazies and other people trying to derail their happiness. So, man, all the best to you for real. Getting a wedding present off the wish list. Love you, Tuck. Indeed. If y'all want to post that wish list, that'd be good too. Art the Clown, thanks for 5. Saying goodbye to legendary journalist Twitter. We're gonna see. I'm curious when Tim steps into the fray. If he does speak up about it, will Twitter act different? Will they? Ray, thanks for the 2. It's all good. Tim turned face, huh? Well, I guess we'll also have something to talk about tomorrow. You know, that'll be a fun one too. I think I'll go through. But anyway, all right. Let's see. Let me let that link. How long before people stop paying for home internet for other people's like hers? I think. Let's see. I'm gonna put the pinned. That's the wedding thing. The wish list. If you want to wish them well on that too. They had some crazy stuff. People tried to like. They had I don't know how much of that I was supposed to talk about. Let's just say people tried to really wreck them in that. It was insane. And like I said, I wish them the best there. People want to wish them well. They want to send them stuff. There's a link at the top. Arthur Clown, thanks for the 5 there. I was talking about Barlow. Oh, the legendary Barlow. Did she go away? Wait. Is Eve Barlow gone? Did she leave? Eve Barlow, Twitter. Did she bounce? Oh, Eve Barlow cashed out finally, huh? After she wrecked any credibility she may or may not have had, she cashed out. So that's really funny. She sat in there until it got to the point where nobody gave a shit what she said anymore. And apparently she has bounced. That is very funny. So she and Hurd and all them, they bounced out. That's awesome. That's hilarious. I'm glad you pointed that out, Art. It's funny. City of Guilty. That's a funny name. Thanks for the 2. Eliza has ties to USA, a religious anti-smut organization. That's interesting. I saw. See, that's, you know what's fascinating about that? If you have ties to like an anti-pornography organizations, then the questions that Brittany Vinny asked, I think, would be relevant. That could have been an easy answer. You know, hey, you know, I oppose these things from back when I've grown as a human being. You know, okay, I don't. Sometimes I'll talk about. I used to never talk about addiction because I know how that's perceived. You know, I know how that's used as a wrecking ball to try to destroy lives, but I don't try to hide that, you know. Man, Bougie is trending too. So Chris Boozie's launching Spoutable today. And again, no outlet, the outlets that puff pieced him and stuff, no outlet at all covered the fact that he did not secure 25,000 people's personal emails. They also had a thing on there. Who knows how many people fell for this? There was a video component that asked people if you wanted to be verified, they wanted you, where your face would be perceived and everything, holding up ID or a passport with your username on that. If they can't secure other stuff, then, ooh. And not only that, but these are the same people that have screamed about, Russian conspiracy ever. They talked about like Adam Waldman. Oh, he's a Russian transplant. Well, apparently they bought a knockoff Twitter. They built on top of that knockoff Twitter, and it was a product built that may well not be legal. Who knows how that goes? But for $89 from a Russian creator. So, it's funny that the same people that are screaming about Marussia and Marussia connections are using a platform created that is the Russian knockoff of Twitter. I just find humor in that. Oh, one other thing I do want to note. So if you haven't noticed this too, I think this is important. We have, give me 1 second. We have Eliza Bleu going with the bot argument. Now we're all bots. Okay. Now we've seen this many times in life too. We always see this. This is actually a checklist. Like, for example, bots don't inspire me. Bots don't intimidate or move me. Bots are boring. Real people make real connections or inspiring. That's beautiful. That's the same talking point we see again and again. Amber Heard playbook, man. Right there. Everybody that stands against me, they're bots. That was the same thing Tim was going with, essentially. If you're paid PR, and he said, 50 accounts come up, he's calling you botted. He's saying that, again, anytime people get blowback, they love to go to this bot thing. And I'm not saying bots aren't real. They are rife on Twitter for sure. But this isn't blowback from bots. This is real. It's very much real. And it was loud enough that the platform shilling for had to change off and had to actually bring it up. And it's going to be fascinating to see the reaction to that. Like I said, when the first Shane article dropped, this thing would go nuclear. And it did. And it has not let me down yet. Even if you hate this subject, just the nuclear fallout is amazing. You have to admit there, You've seen lots of bots, and Boozy was a bot creator as well. Yeah, Twitter admits, they say that there's 5%. I would say that number's more like 20% of users are probably fake. You see them all the time. That's why when you see a thread that's hyped up, like I see Amber Heard threads, for example, an Amber Heard thread from a nothing, like never before posted, you'll see somebody pop up and suddenly it has 140,000 likes on it. It's like, what? No, it doesn't use her name or any buzzword. It uses pictures, or you see reposts of something that gets that. You can tell there's definitely bots that are being initiated on it. I did videos on these people making bots, so I know that they exist. But to say that, the blowback to something is not organic is just ridiculous, especially in situations like this. But anyway, all right. Well, I'm going to end here. I appreciate you. We've talked for a long time today. I've been trying to keep it to 2 hours, but I don't know. I had to rant a little bit today, so it went to 3 hours. I started an hour early. I guess I'll leave at the same time. So anyway, but like I said, I do appreciate you all. And we'll see how this rolls out tomorrow. I'm going to see what old Timmy Pool has to say about everything. Hey, we'll talk about it. We'll see. All right. Thanks, folks. Later.